All right, I believe we are now live. Let me triple check just to make sure. Still not looking like a jackass. Give this just a moment before we address everyone.
Does it still play the intro?
No, for the live ones, no.
Okay.
I need to set that up. Maybe that's what we'll do next week, dude, or next live episode. I'm trying to get the music back working on these things again, too. That was always a headache with these. Because no one else could hear it except the audience and myself. So I'm just like talking over the Ballad of Ken Dog as it's going. But we are officially live. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of Galaxy of Film, season 4, of course, and of course, it is the 4th episode of this year's Monster Mayhem. I'm your host, Max, and this week stepping into the co-host role is none other than William Kish. How's it going, bro?
It's going pretty good. I'm excited to get another Monster Mayhem episode going. Very, very awesome episode today. I'm a massive Alien fan. I'm wearing my Alien shirt.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this was a big deal for me. This show coming out, so can't wait to rip into it.
All right, dude. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on this one. For listeners, if you're not already aware of this by looking at the title, we are of course discussing the new Hulu series that came out this year, Alien Earth. We do have a comment saying, set the music. Okay, dude. We got Danilo in the comments section.
Hey, Danilo.
How's it going, bud? But yeah, we are, of course, discussing Alien Earth, new Hulu series that came out this summer and just wrapped up literally a month ago today on the 23rd. So yeah, first things first, though, before we even dive into news and get on to what we got going on for us this episode, unfortunately, Dakari is not able to make it this week. We do have a little bit of a scheduling conflict, and I do apologize for our listeners. I know last week on the podcast, we promised this live episode is coming Tuesday. Well, I don't know what the hell is happening, dude. I don't know what's in the air. Ever since I came back to Idaho for this semester, I've just been like sick back to back, like nonstop. And then this is no exception for this week too. I just got done doing some coverage of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo with Shamim, while Naima was doing Nightmare Weekend with our buddy Alex. Over in Richmond, and yeah, dude, I come back and I just become sick as hell immediately. I wake up Tuesday, no voice, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm not putting you guys through me sounding like RFK for an hour and a half talking about Alien. So yeah, thankfully we were able to push it back. Everyone was flexible, and then as of like late last night and today, I know one of our guest stars became pretty sick too, Johnny Zuko. He couldn't make it, and then Dakari had a whole scheduling conflict come up last minute, and he's also not feeling great. But for all our listeners, don't worry. Dakari will be doing this week's Stream of the Week, giving his thoughts on Alien Earth that way, at least. So you can still hear his 2 cents about this whole series and Alien in general.
Yeah, I was worried he wasn't going to, catch up in time.
I was too, dude.
I think, last week he was like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. I'm like, you got 8 episodes. Go ahead.
And the funny thing is, you and I were, going back and forth. You got to watch this, Dakari. You got to watch this. And it ended up being me. I was the one watching this until the very last fucking minute, of course. So yeah, dude, I think I binged all this in almost a full day. I watched a little bit of it today, finishing it up. But I think it was 6 episodes back to back in one sitting on this Monday, actually, because I completely spaced out, got ready for the con. I was like, all right, I'm all ready to go. But there's something at home I'm forgetting what it is. Was it a video game I forgot to get signed? Was it a piece of camera equipment? No, it's to watch the 8 hours of whatever the fuck we're watching on the podcast this upcoming week. So, yeah. Only the best here at Galaxy of Film, of course. But yeah, first of all, what's going on with you this past week or so? I know, obviously, we've had you on here for every week this month. But has anything, new changed up with you? How you been, dude?
I'm doing pretty good right now. I've been, I had a day recently where I had some time to do some artwork. Cool. There's this big, look who just joined us. Speaking of the devil. Hey, Kyle, what's up?
What's going on,
Long
Kyle?
time no see.
Hello.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Well, anyway, for long-time Galaxy of Film listeners, we have a special guest coming today. Kyle, my other co-host on our other podcast, Tokyo Lives, the Giant Monster Movie podcast.
Yes.
So if you want to listen to us talk about giant monster movies specifically, go check us out on wherever you listen to podcasts. We just recorded last night an episode of Eight-Legged Freaks. So
sweet. Okay.
Yeah. Can't wait for that to come. That's coming out on Halloween.
Nice.
Yes. If you guys might remember that Kyle was on last year
Mm.
for the Alien versus Predator and
Oh
Freddy
my
versus
god,
Jason episode.
has it been that
And
long, dude?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god. Well, Kyle, glad to get you back on here, dude. You and I haven't spoken in a hot minute. Like for me,
Yes.
I have like a weird case of like podcast blur. So like
Oh yeah.
if you're someone that's been on here more than once, it feels like you were on here a month ago, as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
dude. But we'll come back. We'll come back, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of our resident Alien and Predator super fan, so I'm glad to get him on
Oh, okay.
to talk about aliens. So
Hell yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Hope
Hell.
you're ready for me to nitpick these designs, because boy, do I
Oh
have a lot to
yes.
say.
Oh, I'm ready for it, dude. I'm ready for it. Well, do you want to just dive into news then? Let's go ahead and get this show started. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, might as well. Yeah.
You can, dude.
Cool.
A little bit of in-house announcements for our listeners before we go ahead and dive into news and the topic, of course. As we discussed last week, and we have been discussing every week previously for Monster Mayhem, the newest short film directed by Will, of course, Acts of Violence, is out now. So link down below, check that out. If you're one of our live listeners joining us for this episode, you guys resaw the trailer as this is gearing up for the live to start. So yeah, check it out if you haven't already. Great horror film. Very, very proud of you, Will. And tune into last week's episode because Will kind of gave an insight on what it took to make that film, also what it took to make The Artist 1996, your other horror film you've done so far under Galaxy of Film. And just a good community conversation with a lot of independent filmmakers in general. So check out last week's episode for sure. Speaking of independent film, we do have the GoFundMe still going for my next film. Would you like fries of that? Fun fact, dude. That almost got like shut down this week. We just had like a whole meeting of executive producers. We're like trying to figure out what we can do as like a tier kind of thing for people to get like a physical reward for donating, like either a DVD copy of it or a copy of the poster. GoFundMe didn't like that shit at all. So they pulled the plug immediately. Everything should be good to go again, and it should be back up. So links down below. We don't really have a deadline for when that's ending, so just support the film while you guys can. Everyone who does donate to that gets, of course, a credit in both Would You Like Fries of that and also the other film we're working on, Project News. And the last piece of announcements we have for this week is LFG is officially back after a little bit of a long hiatus, dude. I couldn't tell you when the last time Brandon recorded one of these was. I think it was like midsummer kind of deal. I know he's just been busy editing nonstop. He finally had a chance to do a really cool LFG with Shamim, actually, and they're sitting down with the creator of Dragon Tales, Wesley. So yeah, if you're a fan of the Dragon Tales series as a kid, definitely an episode you don't want to miss out on. This is also one of the creative heads of Land of the Lost, the original show, and I believe the reboot as well from the 80s with Sid Croft. Because I know there's the show reboot, and then they did the Will Ferrell movie. I still got to drop an interview. I interviewed Sid Croft earlier this year at a convention, and funny enough, he hates the Will Ferrell movie to death.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him.
Yeah.
I like it, dude. That's what introduced me to Land of the Lost. You know what I'm saying? It's not great, but
Kyle, is that coverable on Tokyo Lives? There is a big
it's a
T-Rex
dinosaur
promo
movie.
for that.
It's a dinosaur movie,
Yeah.
yeah.
need to do that one,
Yeah.
dude. But yeah,
Will, what he just said though is exactly what you said about Eight-Legged Freaks, though. Like, it's what got me into it. So the nostalgia goggles are there.
There you go.
Yep.
So link down below as well for that LFG. I think it was like right at an hour. Very proud of Brandon and everything he's done to revitalize LFG over the years. And shout out to Danilo, our co-creator of LFG, down in the comments section. He said nice logo referring to the Monster Mayhem logo. Cool.
Our next episode on LFG, I'm going to be on that. And we're going to be talking about the new, unfortunately, the new World of Worlds. So,
yeah.
Wish me luck.
Dude, it's sad, man. I love Ice Cube. Ice Cube's like my favorite rapper of all time. I had a chance to see him a couple years ago. Open for Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was a great show. And I like Ice Cube as an actor, dude. Big fan of Boys in the Hood. Big fan of Friday. But oh my god, everything I've seen in that fucking movie makes me just want to do what Brandon does and get drunk on the podcast.
I've heard some good stories about it, like of like the production of it and why it ended up the way it did, and like it's like there's no the description of the making of, which I'm sure you're going to go into when you do that episode, is insane because it's a COVID movie. Like that's the big thing is it's a COVID movie. It was made completely during COVID. Nobody saw anybody else. They were all in one room. Like it was a
It feels like it's kind of like the last COVID
that
movie.
film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that it took so long for it to come out.
Yeah,
They just
dude.
Like
delayed
COVID
it,
was like,
apparently.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to release that movie? I
Yeah.
guess. But despite that film, I did. Amazon had a pretty good deal for the Criterion Collection 4K.
Ooh,
For the original 1953 War of the Worlds film, which I am a pretty big fan of. So
hell
I
yeah.
just got that in the mail today. Gonna watch that after the new one. I still
Yeah.
haven't watched it yet, so it'll be like a nice palate cleanser. But yeah.
Very nice, dude. Very nice. But that's all we have for an in-house announcements real quick. I'll go over other media reviews just because it's very, very brief this week. Guys, I know I've said it. I know I'm still trying to catch up. It's just been hell. Still have not finished Peacemaker. It's still fuck James Gunn for me. Fuck the DCU. I'm in no rush to watch that shitty show. So I'll get to it at some point the next week.
Hot take.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. I know. Well,
I want to get James Gunn on here. What are you doing? Come on.
it's funny you mentioned that, dude. I actually saw James Gunn guest star on someone else's podcast today, and I was thinking to myself, like, how hard would it be to get this guy on? I was like, pretty fucking hard. I've dogged him like every episode this season.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy as well. I mean,
That's But yeah, in other media, I'm still watching or still trying to catch up on that. Simpsons, the new season, of course, is out. It started about a month ago. Have not watched the new Treehouse of Horror just yet. You'll hear my thoughts on that next week. I am liking the start of the season. I think 37 is this year is going on. Yeah, 37 sounds about right. It's 37 or 38. The first two episodes are solid, dude. As I said before, like Simpsons takes a minute to age with some of its modern episodes, but like the last two seasons have been pretty solid and feel like they found their footing within its modern time again. So yeah, I'm enjoying the new season of The Simpsons. Like always, I'll keep watching, of course. But yeah, the only other piece of media I have to review this week is, of course, the new video game called Pokemon Legends ZA. Big fan of the Pokemon series here. Yeah, this is a game, dude. I love Nintendo.
I was just talking about it yesterday.
I have stuff to say too. I do.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I love Nintendo to death, dude. I love Pokemon to death. I hate Nintendo as a company at this point. I feel like a lot of fans have been outspoken about that over the last several years, especially since like the Switch came out. I know, Will, you just mentioned my hot take on Peacemaker. My even hotter take, the Wii U is a better console than the Switch, dude. And I genuinely mean that. The Switch just has nonstop releases of Wii U content. It is such a shovelware system, unfortunately. And I get it. It has some incredible, great titles. And titles I'm a fan of. You know what I'm saying? But I did not, in the entirety of that console generation, feel like that system was pushed beyond Breath of the Wild. And so far, the Switch 2, while it is a huge improvement on the Switch, it feels like an improvement on the Switch. It doesn't feel like the next leap for generations, unfortunately. Overall, I really, really like Pokemon Legends ZA. I think it's a great step into modern Pokemon. I did not play Sword and Shield. I played the Diamond and Pearl remakes. I played Let's Go. And I played very little, I like at a buddy's house, a little bit of Legends Arceus, but never like through the entire story of it. My issue is the fact that this is the Switch 2 version of the game, and yet it loads like a PS2 game still. As fun as this game is, graphically, it's just a poor excuse. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't even want to know what the Switch 1 version looks like, to be honest with you. I don't even think that's playable. With the pop-in loading system, it feels like I'm playing San Andreas again, and not in a good way. That's my favorite game of all time, and even I can forgive the pop-in graphics for that. This just feels lazy in some elements, but gameplay-wise, I am absolutely loving it. Currently on rank D. If you know, you know. That's all I'll go ahead and say about that plot point as well. But Kyle, how are you liking Legends Z? I wasn't expecting anyone else here to play this game yet.
Yeah, so I'm not very far. I'm very, very early on because my life has been consumed by Digimon Time Stranger, which is phenomenal game, like amazing RPG, just so good, fully voice acted, amazing cutscenes, like awesome, just a great game. And it's to go from that to ZA, like I was telling Will, it's like a great step in the gameplay department. Like the gameplay of ZA is amazing. Like I love moving around and like being able to dodge attacks and the Pokemon targeting you if you don't have a Pokemon. Like all that stuff is great. That's awesome. I love it so much, and I hope that's the future of where Pokemon goes. My problem is it still feels archaic in every other way. The graphics don't look that good. The cutscenes aren't that impressive. There's no voice acting. Like you said, even the Switch 2 version of it doesn't look that good. Like, I mean, it looks good. Like, it's definitely a modern generation for the Switch 2 Pokemon game. Like, it looks better than Scarlet and Violet and stuff. Like, obviously, but like, it's still just not there yet. And the thing is we know the Switch 2 can reach good graphics. We just had Donkey Kong Bonanza, which was an amazing game with amazing graphical things going off all over the place. We're about to get Metroid Prime Dread, which looks absolutely phenomenal. So to see this, it just feels lazy. There's a lot of it feels lazy. It feels like they're not giving the development time that it should have, or they're just not wanting to go to that modern direction, which I feel like is a mistake. And I feel like especially the voice acting really bothered me because we just had Bonanza, which had voice acting. We've had the last two Zeldas voice acted. We're heading in that direction. Nintendo seems, they're lagging behind, but they're heading that way. So to release one now that has nothing feels weird. It feels odd. It feels like what? How hard would it have been to get at least the cutscenes voice acted? I'm not talking about everything, but just at least the cutscenes. Yeah. Because the cutscenes when stuff's happening and everybody's moving their mouths and there's just subtitles and there's nothing, it feels empty. I don't know. So I am enjoying it. Once again, moment to moment gameplay, it's so much fun. But yeah, you definitely get that vibe of it's not quite up to snuff compared to other games in the same genre.
And to touch base on what you mentioned of voice acting as well, comparing it even more so to Zelda, it's weird because we're even missing things like the grunts and groans. I'm okay with going a Lego kind of route for the cutscenes, and then everything else just be textile. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But it's all silent except for Pokemon growls, which I guess we're used to. But it just feels weird that we're 30 years deep into Pokemon, and this is what we're getting still. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I don't know. I would love to see, whether or not it be for a remake or just an original new title in general. Have you seen the trailer for the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake coming out?
Yes.
I would love to see some sort of style where our avatars are pixelated still, and the world around us is this HD kind of redrawn render of everything.
Yeah.
100%. That looks like a gorgeous hybrid kind of remake.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll ever get it. Unfortunately, I just wish.
No, I don't think so.
It's a shame because I don't know if it's a Nintendo problem, if it's a Game Freak problem, or what, dude.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Game Freak problem fully because Game Freak is also releasing a Switch 2 game. There was a trailer for it in the last Direct. I don't remember what the game is called.
Okay.
It's like a Monster Hunter style game.
Oh, cool.
But it looks gorgeous. It's modern graphics, everything, and it's fully developed by Game Freak. So it's so Game Freak can do it. Yeah. I wonder if Nintendo is just putting that limitation on well, Pokemon's always got to look the same. It's always got to play somewhat the same.
Yeah.
We can't go too far. I don't know if that's them or what, but yeah,
Take off your chastity belt, Nintendo. Jesus Christ. Let me not talk too much shit, dude. We actually, at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo this past week, we interviewed the entire Mario voice cast, except for Mario himself. We couldn't get him, fortunately. I'm still fighting for him for a GalaxyCon in the future. But yeah, we got Bowser, Rosalina, Peach, the Koopalings even, and the original Donkey Kong, who does the composing work for a lot of N64 titles, including GoldenEye, which is really cool, and Perfect Dark. So let me not talk too much shit, but yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing there, dude. Genuinely. I have no clue. As much as I'm enjoying this, I only paid $80 for this game because I love Pokemon at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Or the 70, I think. I don't know, dude. And also the $10 increase between Switch 1 and Switch 2 is fucking stupid. I could rant all day about modern Nintendo, unfortunately. I know Doug Bowser's leaving Nintendo of America. Thank God, dude. Nothing's been the same since Reggie's left and Iwata passed away. If for anyone who is in our age demographic, and I have to give that disclaimer because I'm in college again currently with kids who are in high school during the pandemic, which is weird to me. or in middle school for the pandemic, even some of them. If you were our age and you guys remember the release and the build up for Smash Wii U, where it was like a daily tease, a daily screenshots, a trailer reveal, that is what like golden Nintendo is, in my opinion. But yeah, that's enough for Nintendo rambling. I could do that for a whole fucking podcast and a half, just swear. Let's dive into proper news this week. Our only real piece of news is shocking. Will, I know you and I talked a little bit off air about this. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts, especially on this one. But yeah, Adam Driver, our golden boy from the sequel trilogy, the only actor to really progress his career going forward in this group.
Oscar Isaac is in a lot of stuff.
He's in stuff. I just don't see.
Well, he had a career before.
Yeah.
Like Oscar Isaac had a strong career before Star Wars, so it's not.
And I love John Boyega as well. I just wish he'd do more stuff. You know what I'm saying? I love Breaking. It was called Breaking. That heist movie where he's at the Wells Fargo in Atlanta. I like the hell out of that. I know Attack the Block 2 is supposed to come out at some point, but like they've been teasing that since 2018. They still haven't shot it yet, so I don't know what's up with that even. Regardless, Adam Driver's
I think he was. I think he was supposed to be in a Pacific Rim sequel, but I don't think that ever came out.
I don't think that happened, right? No, that never.
No. Unless they got canceled or something.
Something like that. Funny thing is, I've only seen Pacific Rim 2. Funny enough. But
you are missing out.
Point being, though, Adam Driver, our kind of golden boy from this trilogy. He revealed that he spent 2 years developing and pitching a Ben Solo film taking place after The Rise of Skywalker titled The Hunt for Ben Solo. It was reported that Lucasfilm loved the idea. No one was name dropped at Lucasfilm, whether it be Kathleen, Filoni, just Lucasfilm in general loved the idea. Disney did not. So the film is shelved. We're never going to see this. It was never developed further than, I'm assuming, a couple different drafts of a script. I don't know if they had, key different plot points or just different edits throughout it, kind of thing, or what. But yeah, we're not getting what would essentially be an episode 10 in this format. We've talked a lot about Star Wars in the podcast, some with Will, and I know Kyle, we haven't had you on for a Star Wars episode. I felt very strongly that, like, okay, Rise of Skywalker is it for the timeline. Like, this is the bookend. We're going to see movies happening beforehand, but never really touching this part of the timeline again, if you will. Like, we're not going to get the Star Wars legacy treatment. We're even going another 30 years past this trilogy and telling stories of the grandson age, if you will, like the Cade Skywalker era. And I was okay with that. And then it kind of, as Disney does, they announce everything way, way in advance before even a script is written. They, of course, announced we're getting a Rey film, which is interesting. I'm cool with. Weird we're not calling it episode 10 when it's the protagonist of 7, 8, and 9 returning. So you would think it's 10. And then now we're getting this Starfighter film, which isn't tied to these movies, but it takes place after 9. And you will see people from the sequels come over. We're going to see Rey in Starfighter. Let's be real here. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just kind of baffled at this point. Out of all the things that Disney and Lucasfilm, and in the comment section, Danilo, you can attest to this too. I don't know how many fucking times you and I were screaming on this podcast over things never coming out with Disney and Star Wars. We were just talking the other day, the Game of Thrones guys had a trilogy planned. Rian Johnson had a trilogy. Phil and Lord had a trilogy. Like, everyone was getting a fucking Star Wars movie before it was developed, like they were on Oprah. But yet this is the thing we shoot down? I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been saying for a hot minute that Kathleen Kennedy really isn't the problem and everything going on. Like,
it seems that's being vindicated right now. A lot of the like Kathleen Kennedy haters that were just like they despised her are now coming around to the fact that apparently the real supervillain here the whole time has been Bob Iger.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Because it's around the same time that this Adam Driver news came out, where he specifically mentions Bob Iger. There's been like this one source that apparently was like really nailed a lot of stuff coming out from Ahsoka and several other shows. So they are a very trusted source within, Disney. They're saying that like there's a ton of stuff that's Bob Iger's fault.
Yeah.
Like even the way the sequel trilogy kind of sidelined all of the original trilogy cast
Yep.
characters was
Mm-hmm.
his idea because he wanted Disney to build their own IP within the Star Wars universe and focus on them. And then he also hated everything to do with the prequels. Kathleen Kennedy was actually the one that fought tooth and nail to get another season of Clone Wars,
Mm-hmm.
which apparently she didn't want to cancel in the first place.
No.
But that was the Bob Iger decision, was to cancel it.
Well, that was before Iger, wasn't it? Because that was 2012 initially. That was, I think,
remember,
a rights
Bob
issue.
Iger was there, then he left. Then
oh,
he came
you're right. I forget about that shit sometimes, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah.
And there was a few other things that like he's been like secretly like the Emperor Palpatine that's been fucking everything up.
Yeah.
And so now when we see like what a mountain Kathleen Kennedy has to climb just to get stuff done, even if it's like something amazing, like I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I think for somebody like Adam Driver to still give a fuck about Kylo Ren, even though after Rise of Skywalker he had this career where he's still in all these big movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the fact that he wanted to come back, and we got Steven Soderbergh to come in, who's also a very prolific director. Like that had to have been a genuinely good script. Say what you will about the concept of another Star Wars character not, surviving their death. Okay.
Yeah.
Darth Maul got cut in half, came back. Emperor Palpatine got completely obliterated. He came back.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody keeps coming back from the dead. So fuck it. Why not try to fix things with your sequel trilogy? Because Rise of Skywalker really should have just been about Kylo Ren becoming the full villain. I think it was a massive mistake bringing back Emperor Palpatine. So it just undermined Ben Solo as a character because all this focus was being put on somebody else. So my hope moving forward with Star Wars was going to be, yes, let's do a Rey movie where we try to actually work on just Rey as a character.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a reason why I like that it's not episode 10, because episode 10 implies that it's this big ensemble and this gigantic conflict. A more character-focused film, just so we could fix this character who has been slingshotted around, ping-ponged between different creative teams, different writers, and a company that doesn't know what to do with her. And I think with Ben Solo, I remember being so fucking mad when they killed him at the end of that movie. Like in the theaters, I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is it's just the laziest thing to do. Like, oh, well, the evil guy, he gets his redemption, but then he dies. I wanted Kylo Ren or Ben Solo to have to live with the crimes that he committed.
Yeah.
I wanted this to be not just, let's just do the same thing with Darth Vader, but here again, where Darth Vader, he died. I get that. Like, he needed to die in those movies.
Mm-hmm.
But here, this should have been the opposite, where it's like Ben Solo, he wanted to be Darth Vader so much, but now he's going to be able to, reclaim his identity as Ben Solo in a way that Darth Vader couldn't.
Yeah.
And try to make the galaxy a better place and try to fix all the things because there's probably a wealth of things that Kylo Ren is aware about. That he needs to go hunt down shit for the remnants of the First Order. He would clearly be helpful in the cleanup for that, and we could have Mark Hamill come back for flashbacks instead of
and shit.
2 minutes. The 2 minutes of stuff we get in Last Jedi, which I think is not enough to really explain these characters. I think we could have gotten more of that. But anyways, that's my rant for this. I think it's really stupid that they can't.
I'm going to say the hot take that nobody has actually said. Yeah, the sequel trilogy is not great. Let's just face it, right? Okay, so here's my thoughts on this. In concept, the idea actually sounds really, really cool if he hadn't died. I think my issue is the instant I read that story today, I was like, but he's dead. So, like, what do you, like, is he going to miraculously be back alive again? Or what are they going to do? And that was kind of the directionless approach that the sequel trilogy ended up having because of all the changing of hands and the people arguing behind the scenes. And so it's just like, it felt like that would have been just another argument behind the scenes of Star Wars, and we already have enough of it. Speaking of which, by the way, one of those stories that I also read about Bob Iger, he's also the reason why Book of Boba Fett ended up the way it did.
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Oh jeez, dude.
Because once again, they want their own characters. He did not. Once they got Boba Fett reintroduced, he was like, I don't want this guy in anything else. And so they were like, we're gonna mess up his show and make it so kiddie and stuff because no one's
And
gonna
have the
want that.
Mandalorian have Din Djarin just be in it for half of it.
Exactly.
I fucking hate
Apparently
this
that
guy.
was a Bob Iger decision. Apparently,
like I literally one of the worst things I've ever seen is the Book of Boba Fett. Like just from a story standpoint, like yes, there are things in that are fun, you know, but from a story standpoint, I genuinely cannot believe what they decided on. And now that I have an actual like enemy here, like I'm never gonna get this up. Like I'm so glad I know now who to point to. Apparently he also canceled an alleged Darth Bane project, which I just finished.
Killed that.
And then Old Knights of the Old Republic, which was the rumor was the Game of Thrones guys were going to do a Knights of the Old Republic trilogy.
Are we ever getting that fucking game remake too, dude?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, maybe he killed that too. I don't know. Maybe he killed JFK. Maybe he killed the Archduke Ferdinand and fucking
started
caused World War One. And, you know, like I swear to God. Bob Iger is just worse than Palpatine.
During his first tenure, speaking of a game that did get canceled by the heads of Disney, is the Darth Maul game that had a fully playable like build and was ready to go, and they just were like, we're gonna kill Lucasfilm or Lucasfilm Games and LucasArts. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, LucasArts. We're gonna kill it, and it's just like, why? Like, what? Why are you doing this? And they're like, because we want to.
Like someone, I couldn't tell you, dude.
These people don't deserve anything. They don't deserve the money that they have because they just constantly make the worst decisions. But they fall upwards. You know, like Bob Iger's gonna, you know, make a god load of money, and still have still run the company for another 10, 15 years before he sells it to Apple or something. So yeah, no, I hate these out of touch studio heads. They're the worst. They don't know, because I hate that all of these creative ideas have to, at the end of the day, that's what we really learn here from how Adam Driver was talking about this. It's like we still have to go to some fuckhead that just doesn't know anything about like how to make a story, how what is art. They don't care about any of this shit. So when you give them
numbers.
But they're not even good at that. We've learned, they're not even good. They think they are, but I mean, as we've seen with the film industry lately, like they have no idea. They're like, "Why we keep making these things and nobody likes it, and no one's watching movies anymore? Gee, I wonder why." And then they never go, "Hey, maybe we should just let the artists let's
makes too much sense, dude. Makes too much fucking sense."
Yeah, because what other news came out today? Apparently, Denis Villeneuve does not have final cut for his Bond film. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Amazon, Amazon paid him like $20 million extra to not have final cut, and
which is ridiculous.
It's just like that's just okay with Denis Villeneuve, one of the best filmmakers of our modern age, and he's just not allowed to give a final say on his movie. Like that's great,
and that's why they think Christopher Nolan passed on it. Is because he always gets final cut, and that's just so disturbing to me that it's like, I don't know. What's the point of making movies anymore? I don't know. It's just like,
oh god, dude. We have a comment down below from the other Will saying 65 is Adam Driver's best movie. See, that's why Adam Driver had a little bit of a rut streak, if you will. He was busy pitching this shit that this guy can, dude. That explains so much to me. Oh God, let's go ahead and move on from news and do the podcast poll real quick for our audio only listeners. We're gonna go over our break and our stream of the week, of course, by Dakari. But for our live listeners, for our video listeners, we're of course gonna go ahead and dive straight into Alien Earth, a little bit over the Alien franchise in general. But yeah, Dakari asked on the Instagram poll straight up, is this show any good? Talking about Alien Earth, of course. We have 5 votes saying yes, 83%, and 1 at no at 17%. Interesting. Okay. I'm really curious to hear everyone's thoughts on this more than anything. We're just going to go ahead and cut the break for our audio listeners now. And we're back. Cool. For our live listeners, thank you guys for sticking in for that shit. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the Alien franchise in general. Thankfully, I was able to watch the first Alien film finally. If you guys recall from our last time discussing this franchise, I hadn't seen anything other than Alien versus Predator, which I really, really liked, to be honest. I was caught off guard by how much I actually liked that show, or excuse me, that film. It was a lot of fun. I still think very often about like that opening face-off sequence that's straight ripped from the poster.
Right.
Like Alien versus Predator is fucking awesome, dude.
I love that movie, as we discussed.
Yeah, dude.
It's good time. It's fun.
But finally, I had a chance to watch the original Alien film, directed by Ridley Scott, of course. And I've heard so many things about this over the years. There's just a couple franchises that I've just never hit. Never watched the Predator movies either. Never watched any of the Terminator movies other than Terminator Salvation. I know, don't even say it. But yeah, finally having a chance to watch this, and God, it's a horror masterpiece, dude. It's adding, you know, the element of horror and suspense to sci-fi to the extreme. What else is there to say about it? It's just fucking great, genuinely. Sigourney Weaver is just incredible in that movie. She has aged so well in general, but by fucking God, does she look young as shit in this movie, dude? Like, I forget that this movie was 5 years prior to Ghostbusters, and even then she looks really young. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, this movie
it's a timeless classic film. Like the art direction to this day.
Yeah.
And Aliens. I know you haven't maybe seen it yet.
Aliens
is also a timeless classic.
I haven't. And that ties into my procrastination that Will and I were talking earlier about too. I was planning to watch Aliens as well. Didn't get a chance to. I do plan on watching that within the next week or so. So maybe you'll hear my brief thoughts on it next podcast. But from my understanding, just so I have a bit of I'm caught up to speed, if you will, on this franchise. The next one, Alien Resurrection, is that universally liked? Is that one hated? Because I think the fourth one...
no, that one, a lot of people hate that.
Okay.
So you also skipped Alien 3. There is an Alien 3.
Oh, okay, so Alien Resurrection is 4. Cool.
Alien Resurrection is 4, yeah. And pretty much most people consider the franchise diminishing returns. I don't necessarily agree with that statement, because I happen to really like Alien 3. It's a weird movie.
Okay.
It's very strange. It's
do you like the theatrical cut or the Fincher? Yeah, it was David Fincher's.
Well, I like the assembly cut.
Assembly cut.
Yes. Yeah. The assembly cut is much better. But anyway, but yeah, that movie I do happen to like. Resurrection is not as bad as people give it credit to be. It's just kind of a muddled movie. Like, it's just very like of its time.
It's very 90s, like extreme, like crazy, editing and in your face kind of action, but like there's some really fun like set pieces and
some good performances too.
Great practical effects.
It's the Jason X of this series, if you will. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. It's not too bad. But it is. Yeah, usually people are like, oh, after Aliens, the franchise has sucked, which is actually going to be part of my conversation with this series when we get there. So nice little foreshadowing, I suppose.
There's also, Prometheus, which is a prequel, as well as Alien Covenant, which is the sequel to Prometheus, which I also like those movies.
I like Prometheus.
Okay. And those take place, I believe, technically before Alien Earth. Right?
Okay, interesting.
Officially in the timeline, they don't tie in directly in any way, but
they've pretty much Alien Earth basically says that they don't happen for the most part. They
don't contradict anything explicitly,
but there's a lot that is like,
Okay. And then, of course, you have the two Versus films, Romulus as well, that came out last year. You did an LFG on that, didn't you, Will? On Romulus?
Yes. I believe it was me and Jake covered Alien Romulus.
Cool.
And that takes place after the original Alien.
Yes.
In between
Alien 1 and Aliens.
So
you can watch that too next. So
where the fuck does Earth come in again?
Right before the Alien
one.
Okay.
Is it 10 years? Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And Kyle, I'm assuming you're in the same boat as well. This is a franchise you grew up with watching. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. I watched Aliens when I was probably 7.
Okay.
And I've been in love with the franchise ever since. I'm a huge nerd about it. That's why when I was on AVP, I was talking about all the different designs and stuff like that, and I plan on doing that here too. But yeah, I grew up with this franchise through its ups and downs. I've played a lot of the games. I've played, I'm a huge Predator fan as well, so that side of the fan base is also a part of my blood.
Cool.
Shout out to Badlands, which looks amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this franchise to death. I think that it's some of the most interesting like creature lore that cinema has ever produced, really.
Hmm.
Um, and that's like I said, it's just like one of those things. Like when I heard they were doing a TV show, I was immediately excited and then hesitant, and uh, and I feel like my hesitation and my excitement were both like validated by the show at the same time. So
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this, dude, because I was taken back by how great this first movie was. Genuinely, wish I had a chance to watch these earlier in life. Wish I had a chance to watch the sequels before I even dove into this series. Because that first movie, dude, does such a great job of being suspenseful throughout the entirety of it, keeping you on your toes. And the one great thing Alien Earth does is being suspenseful throughout all 8 episodes on actually being good, in my opinion, dude. Yeah, let's let's dive into Alien Earth.
Kyle disagrees.
well,
But I'm here for it, dude. Keep in mind, I am completely ignorant when it comes to this franchise. So shut me the fuck up with this one. Put me in my place.
no.
I do wonder how much, because you binged this one.
Correct.
I wonder how much that, because a lot of these shows,
Mm-hmm.
it sometimes they're designed for week to week. Sometimes they were designed to really be binged all in a row. And I wonder if this was one of those shows.
Okay.
As
Yeah.
well.
I wonder. That is a thought that I have had as well. Me and my other co-host and best friend Julio have been talking about that since the show came out. Of like, it has cliffhanger endings, like it's supposed to be week to week, but the narrative sometimes doesn't make sense to be broken up week to week. So I wonder if, yeah, watching it all in a string would be a very different experience than watching it week to week. Because having a week between where you're able to either really hype up the good moments,
Sure.
but also really nitpick the bad, I think it hurt the show for me personally. But
Okay.
I'll get more into it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will, I'm gonna have you just not episode by episode, and I know we've talked about how awful the 8 or 6 episode structure is for these streaming shows, and this show is unfortunately a part of that product or that line of products, in my opinion. So don't go into episode by episode, but just give a general overlook and a description of the show, if you will. Give us a little bit of a recap.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up the cast, because I'm horrible with remembering names of characters. Okay.
Nah, fuck the names, dude. Just give a name on the spot, bro. That's what I'm doing the whole time.
So, anyways, this story basically starts up. We have this takes place 10 years or so before the original Alien. We are, of course, finally exploring Earth for the first time in this franchise, at least in live action, because it's always been very made mysterious as to how like things really work on Earth. Everything always takes place in space. But we're finally coming here and we're learning about the fact that there are, I believe it's 5 corporations that basically rule the world. Like democracy doesn't exist anymore. It's just capitalism has ravaged the planet, and these 5 corporations own chunks of the world. And they try to work tepidly with one another, but they're always trying to, backstab each other and get, the upper hand. And we see here, I'm not going to go in super chronological order here. I'm just going to do a very brief summary. Basically, Weyland-Yutani, which is the classic organization from the original films, they have sent out a crew like 60 years prior, I believe, because of time dilation, light speed shit. They've sent a crew to go explore space and bring back alien specimens. And they grab, what is it, like 4 or 5 different aliens, including the xenomorph.
Let's see.
Because you got the eyeball. There's the flies that eat the metal. And the plant and the parasite, the leeches. Yeah, I think that's
4? So 5 total. 5 total.
Okay,
with the Xeno, yeah.
With the Xeno, right? Okay. And
what I'm forgetting?
they're heading back to Earth, and then basically, all hell breaks loose on there. There's somebody sabotaging the ship, and we find out later that it's because of the leader of the what are they called? The main corporation in this one, Kyle. Help me here.
Prodigy.
Prodigy, yes.
Yes.
Prodigy, the young billionaire CEO from Prodigy, he's been secretly paying a guy to sabotage the ship. There's a security officer who on the ship who's also a cyborg, who tries to stop everything from going on, but then he ends up failing. The ship crash lands into the middle of Prodigy's city. So now Prodigy has the basically the right to plunder the ship for everything that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this pisses off Weyland-Yutani. And at the same time, Prodigy has been pioneering this new type of synthetic being that's going to be kind of a hybrid between humanity and synthetic robotics. Because in the Alien universe, we were introduced to synthetics in like the original film. Basically, just a robot guy full of white goo. They're totally artificially created humans. But then we introduced in this series the fact that there are cyborgs. So you have just normal, regular people with cybernetic enhancements. And then what Prodigy is trying to do is create a artificial body, like a synthetic, but to download the mind, the consciousness of a real human into the artificial body. And what they find out is that they can't download an adult's mind into a new body. They can't really handle all of like what it takes to adapt to this super powered body, because as soon as you start to freak out, like you can snap somebody's head off. So what they've decided is that they're actually going to have children merge their minds into the bodies of these synthetic like adult bodies, and apparently that's supposed to ease the transition, because children are already, they're not super used to the world as it is anyway, so it's easy to just teach them along the way. And so we get introduced to Sydney Chandler's character Wendy. She ends up being the first Prodigy like hybrid synthetic. And we have like a whole bunch of these other kids. They're all like for some reason based on Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Like they reference Peter Pan a lot. As you get to, they call the place like Neverland and
the Lost Boys and shit in there at one point.
The cyborg guy is basically what's his name?
Captain Hook.
The Hook.
Yeah.
It's super on the nose.
Oh yeah, literally even too with
a little too much.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I get like if you're like Prodigy, I get like okay, he's this annoying billionaire guy. Like isn't it really funny and cool that like I'm doing I'm gonna take all these kids and give them adult bodies and then but the fact that it just so happens that there is outside of his control a guy who happens to be just like Hook is just very funny. But anyways, so they end up going out to they end up because Wendy's brother is working for Weyland-Yutani. He is a doctor who goes out on on field missions with their army basically. And as soon as the ship crash lands into the city, he's sent out there to try to help people and get people to escape from the collapsing building. Obviously, he ends up getting caught in the middle of the xenomorph that has run around and started massacring people. Just going completely psycho. Wendy goes after to try to protect her brother with a whole team of the other Prodigy children. And they end up basically recovering all of the alien creatures from the craft. They kill the xenomorph, but they are able to take some of the eggs back. This is also when we find out that something's going on with Wendy. She's somehow hearing, the aliens communicating to each other. Around this time, I think I'm trying to remember now. Oh yeah, so Captain Hook, the cyborg Captain Hook. He implants in one of the other Prodigy kids. He basically hacks into him and makes it so that he can communicate with him and see what he's seeing, so that he can try to convince the Prodigy kid to basically give up some of the alien eggs, so that he can take it back to Weyland-Yutani.
Well, he can't see what
he can't see.
He
But
can
he's
just talk
here.
to him.
Okay.
Kirsch
Okay.
is the one that sees the
Right.
Timothy Olyphant's character looks through their eyes
Yes,
and sees what they're
that's
seeing.
right.
But yeah, anyway.
And so it sets up this whole scenario where he's threatening one of the kids, his family, if he doesn't force somebody to get a face huggered and bring their body out, so he could take the alien, uh, back with him to Weyland-Yutani. That's a whole plot line going on for a while. We got Wendy stressing out about the fact that the prodigy is messing around with the other kids and mind wiping them when they start to have like traumatic reactions to the whole rescue operation that happened. Um, then basically by the end of it, we just have this big confrontation between Weyland-Yutani sending their forces onto the island.
Mm-hmm.
The xenomorph escapes. It's we get like each one of these different alien creatures ends up killing somebody in some horrible way.
Sure.
Also, throughout this whole thing, I forgot to mention the best character is the eyeball alien, this disgusting little squid man. He just goes around, hops into people's eye sockets, and possesses their body. It's great.
The T-Oculus is its official name.
He reminds me so much of the little guy from the Michael Bay Transformers film, the first one.
Oh, Frenzy?
Yeah.
The little Frenzy guy?
Yeah, he reminds me so much of that guy.
No wonder. Same energy, really. And yeah, by the end, it's just Wendy ends up learning how to fully communicate with the xenomorph, and uses it as like an attack dog at some points. Basically the prodigy synthetics end up taking over the island and kind of getting revenge on all the people that have been controlling them this whole time. But we end on this big cliffhanger where the rest of Weyland-Yutani's forces are coming in to take over the island. So that's where we end up leaving off till a potential season 2. I don't believe it's been greenlit yet.
It has not been announced, and it's
so
probably going to be 5 years away. So.
Oh yeah, can't wait. We'll probably get Alien versus Predator 3 before we get that. Yeah. But yeah, that's our show. Obviously I skipped over a whole bunch of stuff, but that's more or less the major story.
Will,
yeah.
I watched, I believe, 6 episodes in one sitting after watching the original film, and then watched the remainder of the show in one other sitting as well. Your recap was so much more detailed than this show was, in my opinion, dude. Like, holy shit.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff bouncing around. And...
Not only is it a lot, but you see those posters behind you, Will, for that little franchise called Godzilla right there? And I think we brought this up before as we discussed both GXK and GVK as well. You're watching these movies for the monsters, for the fight scenes, right? And all the human interaction stuff is just kind of throwaway. That is exactly how I felt watching this show.
Really? Okay.
In its entirety. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not attached to this franchise. I'm not attached to this lore whatsoever.
That's fair.
Only seeing the first one in AVP, like, and I get AVP is very much that. Like, I'm getting the monsters fighting, I'm getting my action sequences, right. I'm getting to turn my brain off and just enjoy what's in front of me. This show was like the total opposite. There was so much exposition of this that I just did not give a single shit about throughout the entirety of it, you know?
That's fair.
I thought the cyborg guy was cool looking, but like, by the time, I think it's like episode 5 where we do the backtracking moment, we really see like where he ends up coming from. By that point, I just don't give a shit, genuinely. And correct me if I'm wrong on this, because like I say, I don't know a lot about the lore of this franchise. But there's certain elements of this show that just feel to me like they're doing it because it's a Ridley Scott thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
like
I was going to bring that up later.
This feels like a really weird prequel, and I know the timelines literally don't match up at all. This feels like a prequel to Blade Runner in a sense, dude. Like
Technically,
Yeah.
Blade Runner is like kind of sort of also in the same universe. I don't know if you knew that.
Kind
well.
of, not really.
Kind
So
of.
the sheep,
Like,
it's a fucking electric sheep. I knew it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sometimes it's referred like there's behind the scenes stuff I think with Aliens that confirms like the Tyrell Corporation was referenced in that film.
Oh, okay.
But it's more of just a reference. It's not supposed to be like Blade Runner actually happened.
Yeah,
But
it's like a Tarantino universe kind of thing. We'll just see.
I feel like it doesn't really even contradict a whole lot if it is canon. Like, I mean, it's just having another corporation with their own type of synthetic, and because Tyrell's apparently supposed to have been destroyed by the time we get to this point in the timeline.
But that doesn't
allegedly
make any
that's what
sense.
the war was. Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense because then 60 years ago, the Tyrell Corporation would have been around whenever they sent the ship out to go look for the Xenos, which means that actual human cyborgs were already a thing at that time, which contradicts with Blade Runner. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't really fully make sense.
Okay. But go ahead.
To your point though, like what I was going to say is, me and my buddy Julio, I'm going to mention him a lot because he's a huge alien.
You're
head.
good.
We refer to Ridley Scott as the old man who yells at clouds.
Yeah.
Because he has literally hijacked this franchise. And when I say that, I don't mean it's necessarily a bad thing all the way through, but it's still true. Like essentially what happened is back in the day, there was going to be, when he was developing Prometheus, which at that time was not supposed to be connected to Alien at all. It was supposed to just be an original sci-fi film with some theming and feeling of Alien, sure. But it was not supposed to be directly connected. At that same time, Neil Blomkamp was developing Alien 5 with Sigourney Weaver and Michael Biehn coming back, and it was going to be amazing, and like aliens all the way through, and just like there's concept art of it everywhere. It's easy to Google search it. Ridley Scott got so jealous of that movie being produced that he shut down that production by making the Fox executives a deal saying, "Oh, we'll all turn Prometheus into an Alien prequel."
What?
And so he shut down Alien 5 completely. Neil Blomkamp has been very vocal about that's exactly what happened, because one day he had a job and the next day he heard that Ridley Scott went and talked to the producers and that he didn't have a job anymore. So it was like a full thing. And so from that point on, we've had Prometheus, Ridley Scott directed it, Covenant, Ridley Scott directed it, Romulus, Ridley Scott executive produced it and normal produced it and had a high vision of the script and was like making sure it stayed on track with Alien. And now here we are with Alien Earth, same thing. He's not listed as an executive producer, but since that incident, he has had control over the franchise. So I would not be surprised if he wasn't in the background like manipulating everything, because now we have the stuff with Romulus 2 that's going on too that's very suspicious of like Fede Alvarez was supposed to do the sequel from everything we heard, and then suddenly he was like, no, I was never going to do the sequel, which sounds exactly like what happened with Neil Blomkamp, where Fede has been very vocal about wanting to do like an Alien Queen and be very Aliens in his sequel, and Ridley Scott does not like Aliens. So vibes are here in this show. Vibes are definitely here in this show for that. I'm like
surprised he didn't somehow shut down Alien versus Predator, like back when they were doing that. I'm sure he tried.
That was made, so the studio was going to make Alien 5 back then with Cameron directing and Ridley writing, or the other way around. I can't remember which way it was. And then the Fox wanted to do AVP because they wanted to do a big blockbuster movie, and they tried to get James and Ridley to do it, and they were like, "No, we're not touching this." And so they left, and I think that was what like went away from it. But it's like, but the biggest thing to me is like this is not Ridley Scott's franchise. He directed the first movie, but that it doesn't mean it's his franchise. Like he didn't. That's the only thing he's ever done for it. Like, you know what I mean? Up until Prometheus, like. It's like a one-time director coming back for like like I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a good example. I can't, but like imagine if
like J.J. Abrams, dude. The shorter time span, but
yeah. So anyway,
I'm looking up. I'm glad you mentioned that, dude. I'm looking up some of the concept art for that Alien 5. This is fucking nuts, dude. It looked like Ripley would have been like merged with the xenomorph, almost in like an armor kind of way.
She's like wearing like a suit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts, dude. I had no clue about that. That's Wow. But yeah, this Earth to me just feels very much like holy shit, dude. Like I get it. This is Ridley Scott in a bit. Like I don't it just felt a lot of like overwhelming with that, dude.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think of nice things to say about this show to be honest with you.
Well, okay, let me okay, I'm Mr. Negative on this show. I know I am, but let me put some stuff in out in the air.
Okay, go for it.
I I am a notorious person on my podcast. It's a running joke. It's been a running joke for almost the full 10 years that we've been going at this point. But that I hate Shin Godzilla. Apparently, like I didn't like it, and that just was taken away. That like I just hate it. It's like no. I just don't like it. There's a difference, and that's how I am with this show. I think that there's when it's doing good stuff, it's really good.
Yeah.
Like I like it's always well directed. It's always well written. Like that's not an issue. But then there's so many other things that I just absolutely despise that it just makes me hate the show. Like it makes me start to lose that. Like I can't connect with anything. Like I said, I've been teasing the xenomorph discussion later, but like if the xenomorph had looked like it does in this show, but it was a better show overall, I would not have nearly as many problems with the xenomorph. But because I don't like the show, and it's a bad xenomorph design, it makes it worse. Like it's like no, that now it's two bad things. Like I can't even enjoy the xenomorph part because it looks bad. Like
That's fair.
I don't know. That's how I feel about it overall, and I know we'll go specifics in a second, but
Yeah, dude.
So I mean, I guess let me also like I think week to week I really did enjoy this. I
Okay.
think by the end though, I had that problem which I have with a lot of TV shows nowadays where it's like, okay, we got this one season done, but there's a bunch of questions that are very integral to like a lot of the things that happen in the plot. Like for instance, 90% of the show would never have happened if it wasn't for Kirsch just not doing anything. Like they established that Kirsch literally watches through the eyes of all of the Prodigy kids.
yes.
And the entire finale being this just everything going to shit and the aliens are running around killing everybody and you have the cyborg guy trying to get the eggs from one of them. Like Kirsch knew about all of this, so I'm waiting for okay in the season finale they're going to go, oh, Kirsch has secretly been working for Weyland-Yutani the whole time.
That's what
And
I
he's
thought the
been
entire time.
and or like something like that, or he's some secret third party, or maybe he just has a vendetta against the billionaire kid. He just fucking hates him. Something. And then they just do nothing with it. So I'm just like, now the entirety of this show is based on a contrivance in the story.
Yeah.
And I know it's like, oh, maybe we'll explain it next season, but I hate that shit because next season is never guaranteed.
It's not, dude.
This could have
100%,
been
yeah.
a show where nobody watched it, and so now I'm like, why is this like this?
And not
Like,
only
I
that
really-
too, but like even if
Yeah.
it is guaranteed, these streaming shows, you're like you said earlier, could be 5 fucking years, dude.
Yeah.
Right before we started recording this, I was just ranting to my girlfriend about how long it's taking for fucking season 3 of Euphoria to come out, dude.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And now that we've seen the casting for that show being announced, all the main cast is gone. All of them, all your stars of that show is gone. Who's to say that not the same thing's gonna happen with Alien Earth? You know what I'm saying? I know we haven't talked about
do a
performances
completely
just
different
yet,
story.
but like the only actor I really gave a shit about this whole entire show is Alex Lothar, I think's his last name, the guy from End of the Fucking World on Netflix. I believe he's
Oh, is
also
he,
in Andor.
Oh yeah. Hermit, yeah.
Yeah, dude,
He is an android. Yeah.
yeah, I
Oh
fucking
yes.
love him in this show. I'm not guaranteed he's coming back in 5 years or 2 years or whenever the hell we get a season 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought across the board, I think the acting was actually like really phenomenal in this show. Like I liked all of the adult actors who are pretending to be like kids in an adult body. Like I felt like they really sold that. I thought that their relationships all made sense. Like they all act realistically like children. I think that I think where it really comes out is like now you have to be a child who's also dealing with some really fucked up shit going on. Like genuine trauma. And I think that they sell that, especially I think it's like the second to last episode when they bring out the one adult who gets face huggered, and it's the two kids bring him out. Yeah, the doctor. And like that whole sequence where it's just these two kids that are just in this impossible situation that they've been forced into, like, and they watch as the one guy who actually cared about them on this island ends up dying right in front of them because of their actions, because of the
Yeah.
way they were manipulated. That shit was all heartbreaking, as well as the guy who played the doctor. Let me see if I could find him on here.
That's oh, I just had him. David Richdahl, Arthur Sylvia is the character name.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was also great. And yeah, like and then I thought that Sydney Chandler did a good job also. Like she kind of
Okay,
goes through the same motions. I mean, she's like, yeah. What do you want to say?
here's the thing. I agree with you. Like I agree
Mm.
with you across the board. I think everything you said is 100% true. But here's my counter argument for a couple of things. Number one, the kids did it. Adults acting like kids. I think the guy Shmi, Jonathan Ajayi. I'm probably saying his last name wrong. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
He specifically like there's having. I have a 6-year-old, and there's this certain
Mhm.
way that they move their body when they get frustrated, and he nailed that. Like, there's no way this guy doesn't have a kid because he just absolutely like got that movement correct. And I think there are a lot of moments of that. However, had to cut you off with Wendy because
Mhm.
here's the thing. I think she does a good acting job. Her character is terrible. Her character
Mhm.
is the very definition of a Mary Sue. Like, she just,
That was the other
oh, she
thing
can talk
I
to
was gonna bring
xenomorphs.
up. How? Why just
Okay,
her?
why
She,
just her? Can we go
I
into that? No?
And the thing is that it's the nanosecond she even steps foot like by the ship, she's automatically like somehow in tune with them, and it's like, well, isn't she made out of the same stuff as the other synthetics? So why are they
Right.
not picking up on the same things she is? And that's another thing that just goes nowhere in this season because everything needs to be set up for another season later on down the line. And
Yeah.
after so many years of Disney Plus, Star Wars, and Marvel stuff, where it's like all this setup that doesn't really go anywhere, doesn't really pay off well. I'm
Yeah.
just so burned with that kind of stuff that really bothers me. Plus the
Mm.
fact that she's also like, to bring up the Mary Sue thing, also is that she just like the whole finale is just her becoming a god of the like
Yeah.
controlling all of the technology on board, which is another thing where they're just like, oh, we didn't really show her how to do that. How did she figure out how to do that? And it's like, well, you put the capabilities in her mind to be able to connect the things, right? Like,
Apparently,
how
yeah.
can you, like, I don't know, what is this like Jaguar from Godzilla versus Megalon? Like, oh, we didn't program him to learn how to
To
grow
grow to
giant.
Godzilla
He's like
size.
that. He
Yeah.
must have just reprogrammed himself to size change. Like what? Like you
That's
can
not a
do that?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
In the final episode,
yeah.
she like so over the show, she shows that she can like move technology by like touching
Yes.
screens and stuff, which
Mhm.
I thought was a very cool effect. Speaking of visual
Mm.
effects, I thought it was very cool. Love that it was like a CRT effect, as she was like using a
Sure.
touchscreen, and that they're not touchscreens. Very good. Even though Prometheus showed that touchscreens exist, and this is a highly developed
Well,
facility,
yeah,
so they
that's
should have touchscreens, and
Ridley
it should
Scott.
be the
Yeah.
Prometheus ship. But I digress. So, but like in the final episode, she's doing it like without even interacting with the technology. Like she, all throughout the show, she had to touch it. She had to interact with it physically. But then in the last episode, she's just like closing doors by doing this and like shuts down the evil android guy without even like
Yeah,
doing
she's a little
anything. Like,
Evil
little too
and
broken.
the evil android guy, dude, as well. I don't know who that fucking actor is, but there's a wide shot where he's walking down the hall after he reveals himself to a hermit from the hiding behind the wall thing. He, to me, looks exactly like if you just blended Kevin Spacey with Lawrence Fishburne. He is so fucking weird looking, dude. Like genuinely. Like look at that wide shot again when they're walking side by side and tell me that's not just the two of them together, dude. It's fucking
It's
eerie.
interesting
yeah.
combo.
And speaking of positives though, like speaking of actors, since we're still talking about the actors,
Mhm.
Kirsch, played by Timothy
Yes,
Olyphant, I
another point. Yeah.
loved his interpretation of a synthetic. Like
Interesting.
he
Okay.
had this eeriness to him that I really was wanting from him because I love Timothy Olyphant as an actor.
Mhm.
And when he was announced, I was like, I can see it. I feel like I know how he's going to play this. And he played it exactly like I thought it was. And Will, you're totally right. The fact that the plot doesn't go anywhere with it is frustrating. But I still think like the mystery of him while watching the show was
Yeah.
one of the things that kept me coming back. Like every time like we saw him like turn off a camera while the kids were doing something that they shouldn't be doing, like that was really interesting to me. I was like, oh, okay, why would he be rebelling against Prodigy? Like, what's going on? Like, when, like you said, Will, like, is he working for Weyland-Yutani? That could be an amazing, like, plot point of that he's he's a double agent. He was implanted into Prodigy to,
Mm-hmm.
make it go wrong. Like, that's awesome, but they don't go anywhere with it. But I think he did a really good job acting wise. Like, I think like he nailed the alien synthetic vibe.
What I liked about his character too is because it's like he's like a true synthetic, where it's like technically he has no real emotions, but he's like programmed to talk with the kids and stuff like that. But there are moments where it's like, does he really care about them? Like, am I
Mm-hmm.
anthropomorphizing him? Am
Yes.
I putting emotions onto him that he doesn't actually
Mm-hmm.
have? And I think it's interesting the way he balances that, because he does kind of have a couple like sweet moments with the kids. Like
Yeah.
one of the kids wants like a real name, like he wants like a
Mm-hmm.
doctor name, like the one that he's kind of mentoring, which the kid that kind of he just gets wasted. Oh, he might come back in the next one because they might restore his memories after being
I don't
destroyed.
know how much restoring they're going to be able to
Yeah,
do. His
I don't
face was
know. I
kind of
think they,
gone.
yeah. Hey, I mean, in Alien 3, they bring back Bishop's freaking, like, his whole head is, like, completely destroyed, but she somehow manages to turn him back on. So, yeah. But, so, yeah, but yeah, I thought he did a pretty good job. Also, he was
Yeah.
one of the more interesting characters. He had, like, a certain presence to him because he
Yeah.
was, like, the adult in the room for a lot of these scenes, especially
Mm-hmm.
the stuff early on when they're in the haunted house spaceship, which I think is the best. I think we should talk about that just like really quickly, is like kind of like the way the plot is structured. Like I thought the first 3 episodes were the best part of the show.
Okay.
Like
I
I really liked, just off the bat, they weren't afraid to have the xenomorph be a big part of the show. I thought the xenomorph was going to be hidden until the last like 3 episodes or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting it to be a constant threat throughout. I love the scenes where he's running around just murdering people. There's this automatic like just threat to everything that's going on. It does introduce a lot of stuff to you, but it's all, in my opinion, was really interesting. Um, and it's a great environment. Like that.
Sure.
Like I could see a whole movie being based on that. Just big spaceship crashes into the city. We have to go in there to take some stuff out, and now a bunch of aliens are running loose. That's a great 3 act structure right there.
That's my problem though.
Yeah.
Like that's where it becomes a problem, is because you just said it. Like the first 3 episodes could have made a great movie. I feel like
Yeah.
this could have been a great trilogy of movies. Like I feel like
Mhm.
if you had broken this up and made them into films and edited them down and cut out some of the fluff and some of the stuff we didn't need, as you were saying, like I think we could have ended up with 3 really interesting kind of takes on the Alien franchise.
Mhm.
But instead it's 8 episodes, and it's filmed, as we keep saying, like a modern 8 episode show, where
Yeah.
it's like it's a 3 act structure over a 8 episode show, and it doesn't, like, each episode doesn't have a 3 act structure in it, and that is the most
Yes.
frustrating thing in
I
the world. Like,
I
I
I
hate
thought it was gonna be
it.
like Andor, because Andor does
Yes.
that to a
Yeah.
T, where like there is a absolute 3 act structure, like it's 9 episodes,
Yeah.
and so you get 3 arcs,
Yeah.
and that's what I was expecting here. But then it's like after that first initial arc, we get like one in between aftermath episode, which a lot of people I remember were complaining about that. But I was like, I think that we do deserve an episode of just everybody's reaction to all of this shit that just happened to them,
We
and
got the
then
one in that
it
episode. We got the
breaks it
one
up.
cool addition to the xenomorph lore. Sorry, I just had to
Oh,
bring up.
which part is that?
So that
The
we got to see the little tadpole, as fans are calling
Oh,
it,
That's
right.
cool. Yeah.
when they
Yes, 'cause
pulled
you
it out of the
see,
face hugger. That was really
yes.
cool for
I've
as
never
an
seen
Alien
that before.
fan. I'm gonna spoil some final thoughts here. That's what I wanted to see more of. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to see more of
Right.
exploring,
Exploring the
like,
alien.
oh, what do we, like, we've got alien Earth, man. What are we gonna do with that? Like, aliens on Earth, what could we do? I'll get more to that later.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
And
but anyway,
but
see, Will.
and then the next episode is like, even though I liked this kind of breakup episode of the middle of it, like the flashback episode, I liked it as like this little short story of this is kind of what it is, the classic alien archetypical story of the
Yes.
aliens go, like they're on an expedition, the aliens start coming out. But what made it cooler with this was the fact that there was a multitude of different aliens, and they're learning how all this shit works on the ship at the same time as we are as the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And that throws an extra wrench into it. And we're learning about the cyborg character, Moro. at the same time. And I like that episode, but it also just hurts the pacing.
Oh, completely.
Because it's like now we're on episode 5, and then like, all right, I'm waiting for like this final act to start, and then from there it's like just 3 kind of random episodes.
Yep.
That I feel like just like like they flow into one another, but it didn't feel like a cohesive arc anymore at that point.
No.
And I almost wonder if the whole Morrow episode should have just like been the first episode or something.
100%.
I mean, like, yeah, like the opening scene is the kind of like the ending of that.
Yeah.
But I don't, because they always try to do that with these shows for some reason. It's like we start the story and then we have to break it up with like a big flashback that explains what happens.
Yeah.
And it always kills the pacing.
Completely, dude. I 100% agree.
And then I felt like the ending kind of fell a little bit flat for me. I was expecting something a little bit bigger. But it just kind of is like, Wendy is superpowered and can just this whole time just shut down the whole base.
Which by itself is an interesting concept. Like, I think that's what frustrates me most about the last episode is like her getting this power and being able to control things. Like, that's really cool. Like, I mean, it's not very alien, but it's still very interesting, like from a narrative standpoint. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool. Where are we going with this? And then I instantly remembered, wait, this is the last episode. We're going nowhere with this.
Yes, dude. Yes.
That's the answer. Like, I wish we had. Like, that should have happened at the halfway point. Like, at the halfway point, she should have been all going crazy.
And so now I get it when people complain about that kind of the episode before the big flashback where it was just the aftermath episode. I'm like, yeah, maybe that was a waste of an episode now. Because now I feel like we're spinning our wheels, wasting time when we could have been exploring more interesting stuff. Also, the other big thing that goes nowhere, even though he's my favorite character, the T-Oculus, they're hyping up throughout the entire season. Like the main the billionaire guy wants to talk to an alien. That is literally like, well, he wants to first talk to an interesting, super intelligent synthetic, but that's going to take a long time to do. And then as soon as he finds the T-Oculus, he's like, oh my god, like I can have an interesting conversation with this creature. And it's building up to something with that, and then it just doesn't go when it just escapes, and then it's again set up for season 2, and I'm like, but you set it up all this season. Like things that are set up for season 2 should be things introduced late. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be a plot line that I am following from the very beginning of the season.
That's not going to get solved. Yeah,
you assume that that's going to be there. Or we should have something kind of moving that forward, at least. But that's another complaint for me. And I know I'm sounding very negative, but I still enjoyed it, like from episode to episode. And I do one day want to go back and rewatch it, like in its entirety through, binging it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when Max, when you read the poll, I was like, I think the answer that I wouldn't be able to answer either yes or no. I would have to say yes, but it's complicated. Like it's a good show, but it's complicated. Like there are a lot of complicated feelings with this show. And as Will's saying, like a lot of that does have to do with the structure and the pacing and like what is it? Like I've made assembly cuts before of like fixing Prometheus by adding in the deleted scenes and stuff like that. This one for sure, like 100%, I would move that flashback to be the first episode because I think the flashes that we got in the first episode of him like remembering, while it worked for the first time we saw the show, in retrospect, it would be really cool to see that dovetail straight into Morrow, like the ship crashing, right? Like I think it would be really interesting.
That context throughout the whole rest of it, and so
because Morrow as a character becomes interesting at that episode. He's not actually interesting until then.
Sure.
And so then we only have 3 episodes with him, and then once again it's over. So
see, man, I don't know. From someone who's not attached to this franchise, I was just bored as shit the entire time watching a lot of this, dude. I hate to be like the negative Nancy about this, you know what I'm saying? Like I really wanted to come into this loving it and falling in love with this franchise. When I watched the first Alien, dude, and we get this specific shot where the xenomorph is like down like a dark hallway and the light flashes on him and it's like this jump scare moment. That was fucking incredible. I was locked in at that. Like, I was locked in beforehand, but like at that point I was sold. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I got to watch the sequels. I have to dive in further into this franchise. If I know my blockbuster film AVP is fun as hell, and my serious like foundation is this solid, you got me locked in. I'm sold for this franchise. And then I get to this, and I'm just consistently like bored. I don't care about a lot of these characters. Reeling back to the performances just for a quick second, because you guys mentioned him. Timothy Olyphant, like I loved him in The Mandalorian. That was the only other time I have heard about him other than like his brief episode in The Office kind of thing. At least off of the top of my head. I couldn't tell you what movies he's in, but like I fucking hated him throughout this thing, dude. He felt like an attempt to flesh out Papa from Stranger Things. The guy who's like watching Eleven the whole time and is in charge of I forget what that project is called too with the other kids, but it felt like we're trying to flesh him out. And I thought that was a cool concept at first, but he just never sold it for me. Genuinely, like performance-wise and from a writing perspective, like I just couldn't care about some of these characters, unfortunately. I like Will, you were mentioning earlier, I do like a lot about the whole kids being put in the adult body kind of trope. I think it is episode 7. It's right before the finale, where they're dealing with the guy who had the face hugger on here. And we have this like debacle, and he's like going back and forth, the two buddies, and they're like, yo, I only trusted you because you said he was going to be all right. That is great. That right there, that performance, that entire little, I don't want to call it an arc because it's only like
kind of side plot.
It's a B plot in 2 of the episodes, really. But that entire sequence, that entire little B plot is fantastic. That's, in my opinion, the best B plot in this series. You know what I'm saying? I think the concept of having this girl who is having this identity crisis where she doesn't know if she's really the original of herself necessarily, because she's having this illness to why she's even being put into this new synthetic body. It reminded me so much of Starkiller from The Force Unleashed 2. And I loved that. And I was like, oh, wow, I can't ever see this conflict in Star Wars, unfortunately. It's cool to kind of see it in this different, more dramatic, more dark, and serious world. It's great. And then it ends up becoming like a joke at the end of it, it feels like. I know it's obviously a reference Peter Pan and the Lost Boys a lot, but at that point, dude, I'm just expecting like Sloth from the fucking Goonies to come out. You know what I'm saying? Or to have a character of that role, that kind of comedic relief kind of swing in. Yeah, I don't know. This show, unfortunately, just like, well, finally diving into the first Alien film after watching AVP, I felt like I took 3 steps forward, and this show took me like 2 steps back. You know, and I hate to say that because I think visually the show looks gorgeous. There's some really, really awesome shots, like when I think her name's Wendy, when she's chilling on the side of the mountain, and we have to see her jump off, and clearly like no other human can get up there. That's gorgeous. That's a really incredible area, incredible shot, incredible sequence.
I love the really over-the-top, in-your-face editing. I know it was a
I
problem
hate
for a lot
it so
of people. I like it just because it's like they don't give a fuck. Like this is what he wanted to do, and it's. I'm gonna remember that editing.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say there's 2 types of editing. What? Oh,
what am I gonna remember, Will? The fact that in the future of this Earth, people remember Ice Age 4, Continental Drift.
Oh,
so that's a popular movie.
Like 100 years in the future, yeah.
I didn't even remember the movie existed when it popped up in the show. I was like, what movie is that? Like, which Ice Age is that?
That's nuts,
not the first one.
I love some of the camera work in this show, too. We didn't really talk about much of that either, but like, at one point when the xenomorph is chasing someone down, we get the POV where it's like on top of its head, even like almost like a GoPro mount kind of perspective. When we're dealing with like the fly that's like spitting acid and just chewing through metal. We get some cool like drone shots from his perspective, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Like this show has a lot of what I like and what I want from a series like this. But just the character development and the character writing, and even some of the performances. There's one girl, I cannot remember her name for the life of me, dude. She's the redhead who's just super strong as shit.
Nibs.
Yeah, I hated Nibs, dude. Holy shit. Yep. Nibs wanted me to go take a drink is what the experience I had. Like just absolutely, and I get it. It's a replicant, if you will. I understand she's not like fully human and we're dealing with this whole crisis as well. But like, I don't know. It just felt like that actor like had like stage fright, in my opinion, or like had like anxiety being in front of the camera. Everything just felt so stiff in a world where like, I understand it's a stiffer character, but there's certain movements, there's certain nuances where like we should have a bit of something, you know what I'm saying? Especially if we're having, you know, you are a kid in this body. So I don't know, this show just did not work as well as I wanted it to, unfortunately. I really wanted it to.
And I think if we're going to continue that, let's get Kyle to talk about the xenomorph design.
Okay.
Yes, I'm curious to hear your bickering on this, your thoughts on this one.
Okay, so couple things. Number one, I want to separate the critters here, because the critters, I call them the critters. That's the Teoculus, the leech, the plant, and the fly. Mm-hmm. I love them. I love them so much. They're great.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're really unique. They're very cool. And
for context, Max, like the other Alien films don't feature other aliens. It's only ever just the xenomorph, unless it's Alien versus Predator.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this was the first time really seeing other creatures, at least in live action. I'm sure maybe the comics have done stuff.
Yeah. But so I really like the critters. They are great. I had this discussion a lot while watching the show of like, would this show be stronger without the xenomorph itself? If this was just a show about the company and the androids and like just the critters, just like weird little dudes that are just doing their thing. I kind of am still lining up on that just because of how much I dislike how they use the xenomorph in this. So point two of it would be going into the Xeno itself. So the first thing I noticed in the first few episodes was, well, the bad design, but once again, that's not where I'm going yet. It's the behavior of the xenomorph. I really couldn't understand what the xenomorph was trying to do, because traditionally we've seen how xenomorphs, even in Alien 1, like it's building a hive. Like in the director's cut, you get to see it, but if you don't, like if you watch the normal cut, you don't get to see it building a hive. But that's what it's doing. It's preparing for the next step of the life cycle. In the original Alien, it's the ovomorphing, so it's actually turning humans into new eggs to make new xenomorphs. And then in Aliens, they introduced the queen concept, which has been the standard for ever until Ridley Scott came back involved, and he's like, I hate the queen for some reason. But here, the xenomorph is just kind of killing people, like, and it's fun,
just angry.
But it doesn't seem very smart. Like there's no intelligence to either of these two xenomorphs. Like, I mean, even to the extent, once again, of Lungs, the second one, that one, like, I mean, what is it even doing? Like, it's a dog now. Like, it's just listens to her, and it's an attack dog, and it's like, what?
It's Blue from Jurassic Park. Or
it's How to Train Your Xenomorph. Like, right? Like, it's not.
Which. I don't know how I feel about that as a concept.
I have more thoughts on that in a second, but like, it just doesn't make sense. The behavior of the xenomorph is a little wonky, and it didn't make a lot of sense. And then on top of that, once again, I'm willing to forgive a lot of things, but the fact of the matter is the Xeno has never looked worse. Like, this is by far the worst xenomorph design we've ever gotten. Examples of why it's so bad: it has a weird flat face. That just is like, it looks like it was pressed up on Tokyo Lives. We call it Rodan in a hot car. Anytime you see a suit where like it looks like it was pressed up against like a door in a hot car and it melted to like flatten it. That's what the front of the face looks like. The neck is super thick. And that has been a byproduct for a while now, but good filmmakers can hide that. But essentially, in the original Alien, the head was actually inside the xenomorph head. Like the xenomorph head went over like a helmet.
Oh, you mean like, okay,
Aliens, like literally, like it was a helmet. And then in Aliens, the second movie, James Cameron made it so that the head is in the neck, like a traditional like man in suit kind of thing. Your head is in the neck, you got the thing on top. Godzilla, yeah. But the thing is up until AVP Requiem, the second AVP movie, you never really noticed the neck because they shot around it. They made sure like never to show it from certain angles because you could just see clearly why it's thick, is there's a guy's head right here.
Sure.
This show just decided to go, it doesn't matter. Let's do it anyway. And so like every shot of him where you can see his neck, you can tell there's a guy right in there. There's even a point in the flashback episode where the suit actor, I guess, just forgot that they were supposed to be looking from the top of their head. So it's when he drops down at the captain, and the captain's looking up at the xenomorph, and the xenomorph is literally, his head is pointed towards the ceiling, and the guy is looking through the holes in the neck at the actress.
Oh, that's weird.
And it's really like annoying. Like it's just like, why? That's not like, it's just wrong. Some other things that have really come to pass with the xenomorph design for this show, and I'm only talking Bear/Steve, which is the first one right now, because I have more to say specifically about Lungs. But Bear, so Noah Hawley decided that he did not like the human rib cage on the xenomorph, which is kind of the point.
Yeah. I own the H.R. Geiger art book.
Yeah.
His designs will stand the test of time forever because
yeah.
like just what he did with like creating this bioorganic, just hellish nightmare human creature.
Yeah.
Like that's always going to be iconic. So when somebody's just like, I don't like that, I'm going to do my own thing.
Right.
And then it's like, you got to be careful with that. Because I know Cameron kind of also changed up the design a little bit, but it didn't.
Here's the key thing, though. Here's the key thing. So we've had a lot of xenomorphs done. We've had a lot of variations at this point. One of the lore things about the xenomorph is that it gets DNA from its host. So if a facehugger goes onto a dog or an ox, as in Alien 3, it turns into a runner. It turns into a xenomorph that primarily goes on all fours. Like it can stand up, but it mostly runs around on all fours. It's lither, it's faster, it's a little bit more vicious. It is more animalistic, which also has some implications with maybe the intelligence of the xenomorph being a little bit tied to what kind of animal it comes from. So, if coming from a human, that's why they are so smart. But I digress. So this movie or this show, he was like, I don't like the chest. Like, I think the ribcage is stupid. I'm going to give it, you know what I find creepy? Crabs. I'm going to give it a crab chest. Which, okay, sure. Like, whatever. Like, here's the thing. Once again, I just said, there is already written lore with your creature where it takes on the appearance of another animal depending on what it lands on. So the entire time, because you're watching the show and you haven't seen the flashback yet, so we haven't technically seen how Bear/Steve got made. So I was sitting there, I was like, oh, what if it was like another alien species that was on the ship, and that's what the facehugger got, and that's why it looks different. And I was like, that explains everything. I'm totally okay with the xenomorph design if that's where they go with it. Nope, normal human. It just looks stupid. And then Steve or Lungs, excuse me, the second one, which also better. It's slightly better. That's
slightly better design.
Slightly better.
Yeah.
The head is less smooshed. Like it's like this one didn't get smooshed in the hot car. But it also has its weirdness. It has it on its chest. It still has the crab chest, but now it has those like microfilaments that like crabs have, like between their joints. Like I don't know, those little hairs. They're not actually hairs,
Right,
but they're like. Yeah, and so it's like, okay, so that makes even less sense that this is from a human, because otherwise we would have seen hair on xenomorphs this entire time, right? Like, because humans are hairier than...
It just straight up doesn't make any sense, just like logistically. Like, I mean, because the egg looks the same as it does in the original film. The facehugger looks the exact same as it does in the original film. So why in God's earth would it just be a completely different looking thing?
Yeah.
I could buy why like Big Chap from the original looks different from the ones in James Cameron's Aliens, because you had one by itself. Maybe it didn't molt its skin the same way it would if it was in like a whole group with aliens.
Could have been becoming
There's so
a
many
queen.
reasons why. Yeah, exactly. But in this, it's just it doesn't feel like there's really any good explanation as to why it's so inconsistent with the other designs, and there should have been some kind of plot reason for that if you're gonna.
And I'm not asking for perfection. Like I mean, I think one of the excuses that they always give for this kind of thing is like, and we heard it with the other show that I always bring up with this is Obi-Wan with the Grand Inquisitor's design change. And the lazy excuse of just like, oh well, he was gonna fight and we didn't have the budget to do the makeup. It's like, no, you did. I know how much this show cost.
No,
Don't give
exactly,
me
dude.
that. Like, and it's the same thing here. It's like, don't tell me that it was a budget thing. No, this show was,
It
I think
looks
it has,
great on every other
I'm
facet.
pretty sure
I
it had an
mean,
$80 million budget for the entire
yeah.
first season, which building one good Xeno suit for $250,000, like in a grand scheme of that budget, that's minuscule, dude. That's not even. And so yeah, so lungs, the second one, the modeled one, the brownish one with like the modeled
Mm-hmm.
dome. He does look better. Like I will say, even though the like him in the daylight shots don't always work because you can see the rubbery texture of the suit because they didn't add enough KY jelly to it to make it look
Yeah, I was just
gooey
gonna
and
say
slimy.
he needs to be more slimy. Yeah.
Yeah, the xenomorphs are always like they're drooling, they're covered in goo. Like that's
Especially
what
when you
makes
have
them
such
look
an
good.
emphasis on that with the introduction to him. Literally, the opening scene, he's like
Yeah,
slobbering on everybody, dude.
yeah, he's
You know?
dripping it down everywhere. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
lungs looks better for sure. But he still has some of the other problems that they both just have. The short tubes on the back, which they were excused once again, is like, oh well, it's a stunt suit. Well, guess what? In the behind the scenes features, we've now seen that every shot of the stunt suit they replaced with CGI. So them using that as an excuse as the overall design for the short tubes is null and void now. What is going on here? And it just feels like there was just every step of the way for the xenomorph. It's just that after that after that. And we just got Romulus, which did such a good job at redesigning the xenomorph slightly for a modern era, and it looks so good in that movie. And it's done the exact same way that it's done in the show. It's a suit actor. There is an animatronic for it, but that they built, but we don't need that for the show. Like we could just do with a good suit, but we just didn't even get one good suit out of it. So there's those two things, and then the last stamp I'll put on this is then we saw some concept art come out from one of the lead concept artists on this show, and so they told him when he was designing it, they were like, "We want to give this xenomorph like crab-like features, like so make
Mm-hmm.
it look a little bit more like a crab." Which once again, still don't understand. I mean, I know carcinogenesis is a thing. We're all going to return to crab in the end, but like, I was still confused by this because the concept art that he showed, all of them, every single one of them, is an infinitely better design than what we got in the show. The first one that we first got is it's so weird. It's a very different xenomorph because it's got like the dome is like broken up like the carapace of a crab.
Mhm.
And it's like really lanky and long and like I don't know, it's really cool looking. And then there's all these other ones where they went a little bit more traditional, but like it looks so good. Like, and I know it's easier to draw than to make a suit. I'm not, saying it would have turned out perfect, but it's just like all of those designs are so much more interesting with the same concept that they went with for this show. We're giving him more crab-like features. But yeah, then you have concept art where they gave him like really hyper crab-like features, and it looks way more interesting than what we got in the show. And I guess my final note is I think that one of the problems with this show inherently, and I'm going to say this probably again, is that it's called Alien Earth. This is the perfect opportunity to give us some really cool, weird xenomorph designs. Like, you're on Earth, man. There's so many animals on Earth. We've never seen a scenario where the facehuggers have access to animals. Like,
That's true.
give us
I've,
a
I've
give us a
seen the
bear
toys.
xenomorph. Yeah, give us like a xenomorph, like a facehugger gets on a bear, and like we just get this big, bulky, like bulging xenomorph that's just like chasing people around corners.
That's
Like
what I thought this was gonna be. I thought because like
so
you would
much more
think
interesting.
automatically, oh okay, like they pick up a bunch of eggs from the crash site. They want to experiment with it. Now they're gonna have like, oh, let's put whatever animals in here to
Yeah,
see just what kind of crazy like monstrosities we can get out of that. And I don't know if that's even where the next season's gonna go. Like I
I don't
don't
know.
know. Like I mean, because that's the thing is it maybe next season, but I'm just so tired of maybe next season, maybe in the
Yeah, like
sequel
why
we'll
Yeah.
get a
why do
thing.
I have to sit here and go maybe next
Yeah,
season? Like no, that's what the whole
mm,
premise of the show should have been. Like I
yeah.
should have we should have gotten like some crazy stuff. Like and the show once again for the xenomorph side of it is so held back. Like the only new lore thing that they introduce is the tadpole, which was already pretty much a fan knowledge anyway of that there's some sort of embryo that's get implanted and it grows. Like it's nothing new. I guess the other thing that people may think is new is the xenomorphs communicating with each other. But that's technically that's aliens. Like, I mean, the Queen
Yeah.
orders drones to move away, and we don't hear any noise or anything. So there's clearly some sort of pheromone or uh, hypersonic sound that the Queen is able to send to the drones. So that's not new. And I don't trust me. I'm not trying to downplay that because the fact that there is some lore reason behind that makes it okay to be in the show. Like, I feel like
Mhm.
if that didn't exist, I would be much more upset about the whole Wendy being able to talk to the xenomorph. But it's like,
Kyle,
okay, like if she learns the language, it does exist. So
there was one thing I wanted to ask you because you might know more about this than me. I always see like this image of I think it's probably from some comics or some novels from the Alien franchise that there's like this humanoid alien queen where it looks like a woman that's just kind of like got
so
like what is the deal with that? Is that what? Because I almost feel like because obviously Ridley Scott's like I hate the alien queen. We're not going to have this in anything.
yeah,
I almost feel like Noah Hawley's kind of playing around with this idea that Wendy is going to become kind of this de facto queen. That the
right.
aliens, when they get born, they're going to hear her and they're going to go, "Oh, she's our queen. We're going to serve her." And we are setting up this arc where she's slowly losing her humanity. And I
Sure.
could see it being that she might even start. I don't know. Maybe she starts absorbing some of the DNA from the aliens or something, and she becomes
with
this
her
thing.
with her
So
Mary Sue powers.
yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, like they're making her a big Super Mary Sue character, so why not?
Yeah.
Let's make her like the alien queen, kind of, but like humanoid. And I've seen that image before, and I don't know, is that a
Yeah.
thing? Like,
So okay, so that is a recent addition.
okay,
It's not particularly one that I dislike. It's just one that doesn't make a whole lot of sense from
okay,
what my knowledge is. So it's not real. Like, I'll say it that way. So what that is when you get face hugged, that's what you see. So in theory, it's like the god of the xenomorphs. Technically, is the way it's described.
so
Oh.
kind of
I also want to,
like a null from
yeah. I also want to
Marvel.
stress this was introduced by Marvel when they got the rights to the comics. That's how recent it is. So it
Oh,
is a Disney thing, to be fair.
okay.
But um, I could see them going that route, and I will say this: there is some really interesting parallels to the comics that honestly it kind of worked against it for the show if you know the comics because it's been some of these things have been done before. Androids being able to talk to xenomorphs has happened in the comics before, and unfortunately those comics aren't very good. So like the instant that happened, a lot of fans were like, really, we're doing that story? Like, I don't know. And I mean, to be fair, fans are still kind of like, we're doing that story. I don't know. But I think there is potential. Like, I think Will, you brought up a good point of like them considering her their queen. I think the question that I would love for them to do in a season two, once again, why do I have to wait for season two? That should have happened in season one. Is why, like, what if a actual alien queen gets introduced? How are the xenomorphs going to react with having nature versus nurture kind of a situation, which I know is a tired trope, but in this instance, I feel like it could be really interesting. Of like, even she's losing her humanity and is becoming more like willing to be like a xenomorph. So would she even disagree with the queen's orders? Would she actually end up following the queen's orders because she can
Would a queen
understand the queen?
accept her? I wonder.
Yeah, would the
Yeah, that
queen
that could
accept her
be.
as something as part of the hive? Like, there are aspects of that that could work, and that's I was really hoping that we'd get some tease of that at the end of the season of like, oh, because they also tease when the ship crashes that there is at least one facehugger that is unaccounted for, so there could be a xenomorph in the city that we
Uh,
don't know about, but also it could be kind of just a thing that they forgot about and they're never going to touch again, and we just have to assume that it's fine. Um, yeah, it's tough. Like I said, everything about the critters I absolutely loved. I was
Mhm.
there for like the bleaches, the flies were really really cool. I thought that was such a neat like a play on your expectation because like obviously we know what flies do. We thought it was going to spit acid, but like I didn't think about the fact that it was going to eat metal until way late into the show, and I was like,
it makes it
oh, it's going to kill one of the
specifically,
androids.
yeah,
That's going to
it's
be so fun.
specifically something dangerous to these synthetics that we've already established are kind of overpowered.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Wendy can go toe to toe with a xenomorph. So like having a one of the creatures be explicitly dangerous to one of them, I wish it played a bigger role.
Yeah.
Um, who knows what these other critters. I mean, I could see how the Teoculus is going to be set up for the future, but
I've seen some
the
great
other
like
creatures
art.
are. Oh
I've
yeah,
seen some great art of like predators with like the
oh
Teoculus taking
god,
over
that'd be
them,
sick.
and
I
so it's
hope
like a
he's a
predator with his
mainstay.
eye taken out. Oh, good
I
stuff.
hope
He's
he's
cool,
a
dude.
mainstay kind of alien that shows up in more stuff in this kind of combined
Yeah,
universe. Hopefully
yeah.
that's something that ends up happening. I wonder, do you think if it attempted to actually attach itself to a xenomorph, it'd probably just burn up with the acid?
Well,
You'd
that's the
have to
thing. That's
imagine,
what we
right?
saw in their little fight. Is it can't because there is no eye
Yeah, because
socket.
there is no like ice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Mhm.
it was trying, and the xenomorph was like, get off me.
Right.
But yeah. So one last thing I want to mention, and then we can move on. But I have to bring up timeline problems here
Okay,
for a
cool.
split second.
Now,
Split
to be fair,
second.
they did kind of say this doesn't like they weren't really caring about continuity in this. That this was kind of a standalone thing, sort
That's
of.
bullshit.
But I don't know. Like, but then at the same time, it like they came. Didn't they? Was that an official? Because they
Yeah,
give a year that it comes out,
right.
you know, and then they say
But
it's a prequel to the first one. But so it's like so you do kind of care about the continuity,
you
but
can't have it
yeah.
both ways. You can't market
Mhm.
yourself as a prequel to the original Alien, but then also say, yeah, but if it contradicts, don't worry about it because it's not canon. Like, no, like you can't do that. Like, you pick one or the other, and that's my problem here. Is that number one, the show timeline doesn't really make sense with what we've known about Wayland Yutani, because
Right.
technically at this point they would just be the company, right? I mean, they have the name Leyland Yutani, but they would not have this logo. They would have the logo we saw aboard the Nostromo.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the ship was sent out 65 years ago makes absolutely no
That's
sense to the
weird to me.
timeline.
I couldn't figure that out. Why? I didn't know that their light speed travel was that
No, they
slow
don't have. That's the thing.
either.
They don't have light speed travel. So that's this a whole other bag of worms that I'm not going to get into fully. But the alien space travel has never made sense. There's so many different things.
Okay.
In Alien One, that doesn't. Alien One is usually it's kind of relatively outside of that because you're just on the ship immediately. We don't know how far away she is from Earth. We get some like we get what year it takes place and stuff like that. But that's fine. Aliens and Beyond is where it starts getting a little like so in Aliens, they say it's gonna be rescue will take 2 weeks to get to them.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, so it took you 2 weeks to get out here, but that actually doesn't make sense because the whole reason why that Marine team was sent out is because there were no Marine squadrons closer to LV-426. So it's like, okay, so wait, is that just like a side Marine squad that's out 2 weeks away? And then Alien 3 is even worse because like they just randomly speed up
That
the ship.
planet is
They
yeah.
just like, oh, we'll get there sooner. And it's like, wait, you could do that? What were you running on slow mode? Like, what were you? Did you go to ludicrous speed?
Yeah.
Like, what are you
And then
doing?
you have
Like, I don't understand.
Prometheus and stuff thrown in there as well because they established
Yeah,
that planet there. So and that's supposed to be the earliest point
yeah,
in the timeline. So how
yeah.
fast is that ship moving? I don't know.
So it's like 30 years.
To work
It
that
was a
out.
30-year distance to travel out
Yeah.
to the planet wherever they went, which is supposedly not LV-426, but
Yeah.
we don't know technically because once again, it's another plot thread they left open to possibly talk about in
I
season
thought
two.
that was I thought that's what the fucking flashback episode was gonna be was oh
Yeah,
look at us
was
trying to
them
capture
getting
these
the
things
species. Yeah,
and no that's like they already had them. I was very disappointed with
yeah,
that.
and so that doesn't make any sense. And it just in general, the timeline of it doesn't make sense from like 65 years ago from this where this movie takes place is actually only like 60 years from now. Like, and the Alien franchise technically, for the most part, takes place in our timeline. So it's like, what? Like, how did we have space travel that can travel to another galaxy in 60 years? Like, yeah, right. Like, there's a lot of things like that that don't make sense. A lot of the flashback stuff, especially with the kids with their dad, Wendy and what's his name with their dad. It looks
Yeah.
like the 1970s in their house. Like there's like a big old CRT, like one of the old like grandpa
Mm-hmm.
TVs that was like weighed
Like a
2
piece of
tons.
I mean
furniture
I
TV.
always
Yeah, yeah.
I bought that as like they are literally like the like poor destitute family and so they only have like this
Yeah,
old
but
hand-me-down technology from an earlier
There's
bygone
only
time.
that's the excuse for Prometheus, right? I feel like it's the same
Well,
like bullshit
Prometheus
excuses
doesn't.
like
Yeah, right.
like oh
What?
Prometheus, they have touchscreens and it's a super advanced spaceship. Well, that's because it's a top of the class model made sure directly
Yeah,
by
I
Wayland
I
Utah.
always hated that.
What
That was
is
just
that excuse?
Oh
Like
my God,
no,
dude.
like do retro technology, just do it. Oh yeah, and one final thing because I forgot to mention it. I know I said one final thing already. The xenomorph eggs and their consistency with like distance to hatching is all over the place in the
that's
show.
always been all over the place in the franchise as well.
And the gestation period is also all over
Yeah.
the place in the show.
Yeah.
And it does not, it's not good. It is annoyingly like, oh, like I think now the official word in the Alien like fan community is it can take anywhere from an hour to 24 hours for a xenomorph to gestate. It's like that is a long like what determines that? Like we don't know.
I mean,
Like there's
the
no
worst
lore.
one, the worst one is in Alien versus Predator, where it's like instantly like.
Oh yeah, they get face hugged and the xenomorph pops out and then it's full grown in like 5 minutes. Like it's just,
Yeah.
but it's fine because it's AVP. It's just it's
Yeah,
just to get to the action, like we were saying.
They were probably bred that way to be, for the hunt. That,
yeah, predators adjusted their DNA. I don't know.
God, dude, I thought Star Wars was complicated at times. Jesus Christ.
No, this is a
no idea.
There's a lot here.
Holy fuck, dude. Oh my God.
And in terms of like filling in the films with like different stuff going, I mean, Romulus takes place between Alien and Aliens, and now we're gonna have its own storyline thread. God knows where Predator Badlands takes place and when we're gonna get this
Alien
versus Predator sequel. Oh, we do know.
I know that one. Badlands takes place technically. It's not the furthest in the Alien timeline because it takes place before Resurrection.
Okay.
But it is close to Resurrection, so it's way out. Like it's post Alien 3. It's
even way past like Aliens. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, it's way out.
Huh. Okay.
That's why everybody's really excited about it because it's like, oh wow, so we're actually moving forward as we talked about with Star Wars earlier.
Oh my God! And we haven't brought up the fact that Sigourney Weaver recently was talking about how she was talking to somebody. I forgot who the screenwriter was, but she was like, "Yeah, we're trying to figure out another way again for her to come back."
Heard about that too. Yeah.
I mean,
so who knows where that might?
That's all. Have her be an old Ripley 8, from Resurrection,
the clone or whatever.
Yeah, the clone, an older clone. Sure, why not?
Oh my
but yeah,
God,
this show. It just didn't do enough with the xenomorph, and like I think that once again just the framing of some of the shots with the xenomorph just didn't impress me. There's a few shots that are great. There's a shot and
because of how good the cinematography is overall, and then for some reason it's like you didn't really know how to shoot the xenomorph.
The instant the xeno comes onto frame, the cameraman goes, "Oh," like it's like I don't know what to do. It's like why, like what?
And I get like. Because you brought up earlier, Max, like, and the xenomorph from the first film, it's like it's shrouded in darkness. It comes out from the shadows.
It feels like fucking Batman,
and the part of it is because now the xenomorph is like probably one of the most iconic, most recognizable designs for a creature ever. Like everybody knows what it looks like. So I get like, okay, you're not going to keep it in the shadows the whole time, even though I think it's probably necessary here given the limitations of the suit design and the budget or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's so many shots of it just like kind of standing and you see the whole thing and bright lights, wide angle, the whole thing. And it's like I love the like just being ballsy and just being like, fuck it, we're gonna put this xenomorph on screen. You're gonna see the whole thing in its full glory. But I feel like it does fall a little bit short. I didn't hate it like while I was watching it, but it's something I think about now. Where I'm like, it is a little weird the way he's just kind of running around in the jungle, just like at broad daylight. It removes some of the mystique that we had gained back from watching Alien Romulus. I feel like the aliens were presented just so wonderfully in that movie. They were genuinely terrifying creatures, and you still saw like their full bodies.
Oh, you still saw them fully,
But it was just there's something about just the environments that they're in that really amplified that. And I wish it was like the jungle, but at night. Why is it broad daylight? Like these are little things like that could have made them more atmospheric and could have hid some of the problems that we're noticing.
We keep talking about AVP, and I feel like it is a really good example, actually, the first movie, because like even though, yes, like especially it's a giant monster versus giant monster fight,
Mhm.
like we just have them fighting in broad daylight with the shots, like especially the big first fight where he's like swinging the xenomorph around by its tail,
Oh,
and
so
it's
good,
all
dude.
good fun.
Yeah.
But the thing is like if you look at all the other shots of the xenomorph in the movie, they're hidden in shadow still. Like even after that sequence, they return to being like lurking creatures in the shadows. And I think that's just indicative of just knowing what the creatures like. Once again, that behavior stuff that I'm talking about. Like they're ambush hunters. Like you wouldn't see a tiger just out in the middle of nowhere, like a middle of an open field,
Hmm.
not crouching. Like you wouldn't, because that's how they hunt. They hide in the brush. So you wouldn't see it just strolling around perfectly fine. Like no, it would be hiding.
Yeah.
And that's what this does. Every time the xenomorph is out, it's just kind of there. Like
And we're gonna
there's
get a lot more of that in the future with the bluification of the xenomorph, which I think
we
is
hope not.
I was like, is that like now because now we have to have the cute, marketable, heroic
Yeah.
xenomorph character, and we're kind of getting that with Predator Badlands a little bit. Although, like, I'm more for that because obviously
We've
the
had Predator
Predators
good
are,
guys
yeah, like
in
that's kind
comics
of
and
right, or even AVP, like just by virtue of him being the lesser of two evils, like he's the heroic Predator. Um, but like in here, it's like okay, this is like the one that could be the marketable xenomorph that can team up with
right.
a Predator to fight a bigger threat or something. Like I'm seeing that kind of Disneyification
Yeah.
of it. It kind of takes the teeth away. I kind of wanted to keep the xenomorphs more as a villain rather than as a pet, and that is something that like maybe they'll make it work because I think it'll work if Wendy just becomes a villain, and then it'll still
Oh.
be scary.
Or it just
And,
betrays her.
or
Or
yeah, or maybe again if we introduce like another queen or something.
yeah.
Even though Ridley Scott will be spinning in his director's chair.
See, that makes me just want to watch Aliens even more, dude. To be honest with you, I've
It's
bitched
the best.
so
really
much
like
about
Alien.
James Cameron in this
It's like just
podcast.
as good as Alien, just in a different way.
Sure,
It's a
sure.
Yeah,
different type
it's
of.
action suspense instead of thriller.
Cool,
Like
cool. Okay.
yeah. It's my favorite of the franchise by a
And
large margin.
Romulus is this kind of perfect in between.
Sweet.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
dude. Oh my God. Can of worms we fucking
With that,
opened with this episode,
yeah.
dude. Jesus
Yeah, I
Christ.
could keep going. This is round one,
You
baby.
go, yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit. All that to say, I fucking hated this show. To be very honest with you
Wow.
guys.
It's at least we get a
Mhm.
lot of cool monster stuff. I like the way that this is my final thoughts.
Mhm.
Sure.
Get a lot of cool monster stuff. We get a lot of exploration of like different factions of the corporations, which is something that's cool. So far, like in the movies, we only ever hear about Whale and Yutani. It's cool to see that they have to work their way into becoming the most powerful corporation, and they have all of the Prodigy is this thing that I can't wait to see Prodigy completely collapse. I can't wait for that fucking billionaire guy
Sure.
to get his comeuppance.
Should
I
have happened
know
in the
the
first season.
probably should have. We can make our way over into making Whale and Yutani the official
eyeball
villain
spinning.
of the but we have to keep everything held off for another season. Yeah, it'll be season 5 that Teoculus finally makes his way into his face.
Jesus.
Yeah.
In the year 2065.
It's gonna be about the same time that they set that ship in the show to
Yeah,
go
Jesus
capture all of
Christ.
the aliens. We will be getting season 5.
Oh boy.
But like, and then just introducing the different types of synthetics with cyborg, like that just rips open like what you can do in an alien film. Moving forward, we could have like more characters that maybe aren't so underpowered when a predator shows up or when a xenomorph shows up. You can have a heroic human character that isn't like a full synthetic, but like they have certain abilities. um like I like stuff like that. We're exploring the world, which was what I wanted from this show, for it to take the time to do some world building, that we could, maybe it won't all happen in this show, but maybe in future films and TV series and comics, they can expand on things introduced here the same way that
Mm.
the original Alien, just all these tiny little nuggets that they left in the original Alien, like that became this whole franchise. And so I'm excited to see moving forward with the Alien series, what impact this has. And it has potential liked this show at the end of the day. I did not hate this show, even though I did kind of critique it a lot today. Like again, I love the just like abrasive, just kind of style to it. I love the ridiculous needle drops at the end of every episode. Like
I dug
like,
those
just
too, yeah.
Not I just like the overall vibe, the overall aesthetic. And I like I said, I like the characters, like the acting I thought was pretty good. And I do wish it stuck the landing. It ended up being one of those shows. I remember the first 3 episodes, I was like, I might like this more than Alien Romulus. I can't believe it. I thought this was going to be, not good. Like I had a bad feeling going into it. And then I think by the end, I was like, this isn't where I wanted this final episode to go, which is kind of like how I felt with like Peacemaker.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And that's a whole other can of worms. But, yeah, that's, I still liked it. But I'm excited to see what happens in the future with this franchise. But
what would you rate this? Well, if you had to.
Oh yeah, what would I rate it? This one's tough. You know what? I think right now the way I'm feeling, I think a couple weeks ago I was probably even like higher on it, but I think right now I'm at like a Hoth on the way to Naboo.
Oh wow, okay, yeah,
3.5.
Straight in the middle. All right, it's 2.5.
Yeah, or 3.
Naboo on the way to Bespin is a 3.5.
Oh, Naboo on the way.
Okay.
I me. I've only been on this podcast for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to remind me when I get to mine. You're gonna have to remind me of the ratings because
we'll translate it for you. You just tell us your number. We'll translate it for you.
Oh God, dude! I'm gonna go up next real quick, just because I don't have too terribly much to say about this one. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't want to put this show down necessarily, if that makes sense. Like I think this show had some really cool stuff in it. If I'm watching it from a turn off your brain perspective, like I am with the modern Godzilla films, I think it's fun. I like some of the death scenes. I like some of the action scenes. I like the xenomorph battles, like that opening sequence of the xenomorph trying to tear into like the escape pod. That's fucking great. I just wish I didn't have 45 minutes of bloated bullshit following it every episode. That's my biggest critique with this one. And I don't know, I'm hearing all of the like Ridley Scott hijacking, if you will. It makes me much more interested in watching Aliens, and just seeing, how that influences the rest of this, because that has me intrigued more than anything now. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry for our listeners. I've kept muting myself because I've been like fucking dying over here, and I refuse to let you guys listen to all that bullshit. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just wish that this series had number one, stuck the landing, but I also wish it stuck the setup for me. Like all the exposition just felt so bogged down more than absolutely anything. And I don't know, maybe it's just me kind of having my little whiny bitch goggles. But personally, I feel probably the same way that a lot of people do with the prequels, where they're it's too political. It's too, it's just too focused on this one aspect. That to me is Alien Earth, if I had to compare franchises to Star Wars yet again. I will say though, the best thing about this whole series is the fucking poster, where you see the globe through the xenomorph's head. That's great. Love that shit too.
So I made it into the thumbnambell.
Yeah, love it, dude.
They're direct. All of the Alien Earth posters were direct references to comic book covers from over the years. Right. So those are all great. Yeah, they're all good. Good stuff.
Okay, sweet. Well, Alien Earth are even less original than I thought, so sick one.
Well, I mean, we have. Am I a robot or am I a human? It's yes, I have also seen Ghost in the Shell. This has been something that's we've it's been explored a lot.
We've played around with for a while.
Well, we're doing it in Alien. Okay.
Very true. Very true.
That's cool.
If I had to rate this thing, it's a Hoth for me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's kind of being generous for me in a sense. I do love all the critters, all the new aliens. I wasn't aware that they're brand new to this series, but they're cool as shit. They're new to me regardless. I like seeing them, especially the eyeball guy. He's freaky. Like I said, he reminds me so much of the 2007 Transformers movie. And I haven't seen a little menacing, little fucking shit stick villain in a long time. So I like that. Yeah, this is a Hoth for me. This is a Hoth. I don't know. I probably won't turn into a second season, but I will continue on with the series regardless. At least Aliens, I'm pumped to watch that finally. I'm super curious because I watched the beginning of Prometheus when it first came out on Blu-ray, which is weird because I was like 12, 13 when that came out physically. Probably it's 2012, right? Around that time.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
I was 12 years old when it came in theaters. At least 12 when it hit Blu-ray. I remember at like Thanksgiving, we all watched this around like at my grandparents' house, my dad's side, right? Yeah, super
That's
religious.
A crazy Thanksgiving movie.
Well, there's super religious
Yeah.
fucking assholes on top of that,
Yeah.
dude. All of them are pricks, and we're gathered
Well,
around.
Dude, I'm glad that they cut some stuff that was gonna be in that movie involving religion.
I was about to
They
say
still talk about it a lot. But...
we're gathered around watching this shit, right? We get 5 minutes too deep, and they decide I'm too young for this movie, which blew my mind.
Right.
So they sent me away, so I couldn't even engage after. The only memory I have is just seeing this white planet, this whole like head to toe white guy who looks like Christian Bale from the fourth Thor movie.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see where this franchise leads out in terms of the films. I know you've been praising Romulus since you saw it day one, Will. So genuinely really curious to see what this looks like in someone else's hands. It's not Cameron or Ridley Scott. That just isn't Alien Earth. So yeah, this is a Hoth for me. Kyle, take us home. Let me hear your final thoughts and your own rating on Alien Earth.
It sucks. No, I'm just kidding. By the way, if you ever do get around to watching Prometheus again, reach out to me because I'll send you my assembly cut that adds all the deleted scenes back in.
Oh shit! Hell yeah,
much
dude.
better than the full version of the movie. So
okay, fuck you, Ridley.
It starts off just real quickly. It starts off. There's a deleted scene of a TED talk with Wayland, like talking about the future, about like creating androids and stuff like that. And it's like a 7-minute scene, so it wasn't actually intended to be in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it edits with the movie at the beginning, because I put it before you see the engineer like drinking the goo, is like him talking about the future and all this stuff, and then it cuts to like the engineer killing himself to become humanity. It's very good.
That's cool.
It's one of my edits that I'm very proud of. Anyway,
hell yeah.
This show. Okay. When I heard the announcement of Alien Earth, my immediate thought, just like a lot of Alien fans, was, oh, cool. We can go crazy. Like, especially when they started talking about it's not canon, we're not really like betraying. Like, technically, the only time we've actually seen Earth in the Alien franchise up until this point is a deleted scene for Alien Resurrection, where it was originally going to end with them landing on Earth, and it was completely destroyed, and like they filmed it. It's on the Blu-rays. But so when I was thinking about that too, I was like, oh man, what if they made that canon? Like, what if this is how the destruction of Earth starts? Is the xenomorphs get to Earth, and they've just like, Wayland Yutani has spun it over the years to make it seem like, oh, it was war. We nuked ourselves to destruction or whatever. I was like, that could be really interesting. Instead, what you get is Noah Hawley wanting to make a Blade Runner show, wanting to make a show about androids. And he was told no, but they were like, hey, but we want to do an alien show. And he's like, oh, okay. I don't really have anything interesting to do with the xenomorph or the alien, but yeah, sure. I'll make it an alien show. Yeah. Let me do that. And that's what we get here. It's not bad. It's not a bad show, like in the sense of like, if I'm rating it on the level of filmmaking and everything going into it, like it is a well-made show. Like it is a good show on that level. Is it entertaining to the general populace? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people really like this show. And I've heard a lot of people, and I mentioned this at very, very beginning of when I popped in. I think that like one of the things that I constantly see is people saying this is the best thing since Alien. And it makes me want to vomit when I hear people say that. Not necessarily because the show is that bad, but it's like, but the rest of the franchise, yes, there's some bad eggs. Yes, AVP Requiem, terrible. Like Resurrection, not quite that good. Alien Covenant, garbage. But but like I don't think that this is the return to form of the franchise. We've already had it. It was Romulus. It was Alien Isolation. It was Alien Rogue Incursion, which just came out really recently. Those are the return to the horror roots of the franchise that we've gotten and that we've been waiting for. And I think that's what this show misses for me so much, is like it's not really that scary. Number one, the T Oculus is the only really scary thing in the show, and I love him. And once again, that's why I say the show should never have been about the xenomorph. It should have been about the critters. And the xenomorph maybe be like a tease, like, like, oh, we did get some eggs, but we don't ever see them use them or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, there's certain ways they could have made this. They could have called it Wayland Yutani or something as the name of the show, and it would have been like, ooh, Prodigy. We're talking about the company, Prodigy, yeah. Like, and set it in the same universe. Like, and I'm gonna use this as an example because once again, I run a giant monster podcast. We just recently got a spin-off show from the Monsterverse, Monarch, which was amazing and was so ingrained in the lore and was like, we're going to expand on stuff. You're going to see what Godzilla was doing between 2014 and King of the Monsters. You're going to learn more about the Hollow Earth and the Axis Mundi, which is a new concept that we're bringing in that makes everything really interesting and even more sci-fi and wild.
That built Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, we're going to randomly run into Apex like before we ever thought we would and learn what they are. And it's so good and so well done, and it's a people highly rate that show, like really highly rate that show. Even just normal people that aren't in the franchise at all. Like one of my coworkers the other day, actually, like because they watched it when it was releasing, and they came up to me and they were like, "When is season 2 coming?" Because I'm desperately like updating my Apple to like watch for it. And it's like, yeah, that's how you do a TV show based on a big movie franchise. This to me misses that. It just doesn't quite get there. The acting and stuff is all great. You think everything is just so good, but like you were saying, Max, like there's so much bloat. There's you could cut this down to a 2-movie series. I said 3 earlier. I honestly think cutting out a lot of the bloat, you could make it 2 movies.
There's a reason why when I was doing my recap, I was like, oh yeah, there's like a lot going on in the first arc, and then the second arc, I'm like,
which is kind of
I guess that happens. Like it's weird. Like the early episodes left more of an impression of what the plot was, and the later few episodes, like it got a little just kind of like shit just happens, whatever.
100%. And so like I'm not trying to say that this show is garbage. But what I am trying to say is that this show, number one, not going to be for everyone. Number two, I just don't think that I don't think it really shows the essence of the Alien franchise other than the flashback episode. But the problem with the flashback episode is it is just a remake of Alien 1
with more aliens.
In a TV format and less budget. But so overall, I think the show for me is one that I am going to struggle to put in watch throughs. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be like, yeah, I want to watch the Alien franchise in order, and I'm going to throw this between Covenant and Alien 1. Like, I will definitely probably skip this one. Whereas with, like, other shows like Monarch, like I brought up a second ago, that is like I will always put Monarch on between 2014 and King of the Monsters. It just feels right. It just feels so right to be there. This does not do that for me, and for a franchise thing, where now we have enough of a franchise where you can kind of pick and choose your favorites, right? Like, I think that's something that a lot of franchises right now have, right? Like, I think the MCU is a great example. In its failing state, we are picking up on the ones that are really good, that are like, oh, I haven't really watched much of Marvel, but I did watch Shang-Chi, and that was great, right? Like, we have those in a long-running franchise. This is one of those ones that I'm going to be like, yeah, it's there. I'm not going to watch it. Unless the second season comes out and blows me away, which I will say, though, in the series credit, before I give my rating, I think the fact of the matter is I did still come back to the show every week. I still was interested enough to watch it and be, like, curious about where it was going. I will still be curious about it with season 2, but overall, I'll still give it, like, a 2 out of 5 for me personally. Maybe 2.5 if I'm being generous. It's just not. It's not what I want. I want a gorilla alien. I want a big snake alien. I want like crazy stuff. Like, that's so cool. Like, I don't know, and make it scary again. Like, once again, like just make the xenomorph. The xenomorph can be scary. We just proved that in Romulus, and here we are again where the xenomorph's just acting like a big bug and not even a scary bug. It's just, it looks like a cockroach now, which is scary, I guess.
With his fucking crab chest, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, jeez, man. Oh, jeez. Well, I think it's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of Monster Mayhem, dude. Maybe next Monster Mayhem we'll dive into more aliens, since it's been like the only recurring theme so far. Well, we'll have to see if we're planning that out. But definitely, I'm going to try to go ahead and watch Aliens, so next week I can kind of give my 2 cents on that one real quick on the podcast. But yeah, dude, we'll see. I guess, you know.
Yeah, you talking about this show made me want to go rewatch Alien Romulus. So
Yes.
that's another one I'm gonna.
I need to watch that still, dude.
Yeah,
I'm upset I missed that in theaters last year, genuinely.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. That movie is gorgeous.
God, dude. Oh, geez. Well, next week, I believe we're wrapping up Monster Mayhem by talking about Return of the Living Dead, and we're also talking about Evil Dead 2, which will be really fun.
Hell yeah.
So you guys have to stay tuned for that.
I can't wait for that.
Hell yeah.
Those are like two. I was like, how are we going to end this year's Monster Mayhem? And I was like, I want to do like these 2 movies that are some of my all-time favorite horror movies just ever. They're both, I think they pair together really well. They're both like, weirdly, they're both like reboots, like semi-reboots that are also parodies of the movie that they're a semi-sequel reboot to. A very oddly specific type of film. But yeah, and they're both awesome. So I can't wait for next week. Very hyped for that.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Can't wait for it. It'll be a good finale for Monster Mayhem this year. We got plenty more stuff coming up with season 4, of course. But Kyle, it's been a pleasure getting you back on here. I cannot believe it's been as long as it has been, dude. We got to get you on here for some normal stuff at some point, I swear.
Yeah, for sure.
But where can our listeners find you online, man?
Yeah, it's Tokyo Lives all the way, baby. Will is on it, as we said earlier. He's one of my lovely co-hosts since we did our season 3 relaunch. Which, when I say season 3 relaunch, I mean we've had about 6 years during season 2.
Oh, I feel you.
A little unbalanced with the seasons.
Same over here. I think our season 2 is like 140 episodes or something. It's kind of nuts.
Something like that, right?
And I think it's been almost a year since I joined officially. Yeah.
Yep, almost a year. Yeah, we did the host way back December of last year, I think.
Yeah,
shit.
So yeah, it's been great. We like Will said earlier, the next episode that'll be coming out is Eight-Legged Freaks, which we recorded last night. We also recorded Tarantula, the classic 50s B movie, spider movie. That'll be coming out this Friday on the 20th, or tomorrow, I should say. But yeah, we're still going strong over there, still hanging out, and yeah, I'd be happy to come back anytime you guys want me. Especially, I don't know if you guys are doing anything for Badlands, but I would be happy to talk about Predator Badlands after it comes out.
We can figure something out. So. Hell yeah. Sounds good to me, man. Sounds good. Well, I know we got a lot coming forward with obviously season 4, wrapping up Monster Mayhem, but also on the film side of things, we got a lot going on. It's a lot, dude. It's a lot. One might say it's complicated, quite similar to Alien Earth.
Yes, but it's complicated.
Only the best here, Galaxy of Film. For our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in live for this episode. We got one more comment I want to address from Danilo. I think he had to step away for a bit and has not been watching live because he commented this quite earlier. Mary Sue, haven't heard that one in a minute. Referring to Surprise of Skywalker.
Well, we were talking about Ray earlier, so I don't know. Just put the term back in my mouth.
Oh God. But stay tuned, listeners. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, the whole 9 yards, all at Galaxy of Film. For our audio listeners or audio exclusive members, obviously you guys are getting this a little bit later, but hey, thanks for sticking around. Be sure to subscribe over on the YouTube channel for these live episodes to happen when they're live. And comment something down below for me if you've made it this far through the episode. Please let us know if you prefer the lives to be on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Pure coincidence, this is the second live of season 4, and both have been postponed to a Thursday. So if you guys prefer these Thursday slots, let us know. We can work that out and kind of switch over audio, getting these episodes on Saturday, unlike the videos, and just kind of flip it back and forth. Let us know. Comment all that down below too, please. But thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving us an iTunes or Spotify review if you enjoy the show. It truly does help us out much more than you can imagine. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.